This should take us into the scene right here. All right, welcome everyone to Style Esports, your favorite career esports League of Legends. I'm Abbatrombone here. I'm joined with the one and only Bard. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
This will be a pretty exciting matchup here in the playoffs right now. We have Contingent eSports Purple versus 9 Lives here. It looks like Purple has the blue side in this matchup and started with a brand ban here. Not a lot of AP get damage going to be coming out of here with these bans, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, especially how strong AP mages seem to be nowadays.
Yeah, AP items seem to be pretty decent right now. Seraphine, you can get a lot of synergies with her wombo combos here as well. Mordekaiser can really change all these team fights as well with his Death Realm as well. And he can just be a juggernaut that can just kind of split push this out. And of course, Brain can make for a wicked mid laner or a support, just being able to pump out that damage being it's so important right now.
Yeah, and also the fact that there's Seraphine's really strong right now because you're able to have Imperial Mandate on that side, not being a mythic anymore. It's really strong. But the Rallies and Imperial Mandate, and then you also have the healing from so many different things. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that seems to be the case here. It looks like they're starting with a Mumu, can be flexing the jungle or support here, and is a pretty good engage tool here. I'd expect them to more than likely be the jungle pick. That's where I've seen them the most right now. But the snapback with Ezreal it's quite nice. It's gonna have some range to poke things out, and he can play fairly safe here with this arcane shift as well. We'll have to see what they end up going to be pairing with this. They might go with the support, or they might go with a match for this Mumu themselves.
Yeah, and also a good pick from a Mumu. You're able to flex it to the support too. Gonna be definitely hard for a Mumu to be as a support into Ezreal just because he's able to he has a flash as his E button right now. So it's definitely it's gonna be definitely challenging for Mumu to get on top of him.
It's just so difficult as an engaged support to deal with Karma Ezreal. There's so much poke that you're going to be so low, it's going to be dangerous for you to do stuff, even if you manage to clamp down that Ezreal as well. It's just so difficult with the movement speed coming out of Karma as well. Misfortune, going to be a lane bully here, going to be able to harass in return. It looks like a wombo combo with bullet time with how that composition is going so far, but it's very early into the draft phase, so they don't have to commit to that plan just yet.
Yeah, and this is looking more like a Mumu support. Just the fact that Misfortune does so well with the Mumu, as Mumu does shred the magic resist. As we were talking about the bullet time in the bot lane, there's a Sandra being picked, and we do have a lot of CC towards Contingent towards Purple.
Yeah, the Glacial Tomb also going to be quite the combination nation to go with it. But this Gragas can also be quite disruptive with his casket as well. So we'll have to see what threats each team feels like they have in the second half of the ban phase here. Do you have any predictions at all as to what they might ban?
I don't really have too many predictions, to be honest. There's a lot of things that could be. There's a lot of things, you know what I mean? Like, it seems that every single player kind of plays almost a little bit of here and there about things, A lot of the comfort pits are already kind of banned and picked already, so.
That's fair enough. Top lane still available on the table here. It looks like jungle or support, depending on how they end up flexing it from Style Esports Purple here. 9 Lives still has some options here as well. Gragas can go to the top side if they want. It goes into the mid. Or I think there's even some jungle Gragas, but I haven't seen that quite as much right now. But it looks like top lane is going to be the name of the game with Mundo, Gnar, and Fiora here. Very, very big top laners here, especially with that earlier Mordekaiser ban as well.
Yeah, I mean, also, I feel like weirdly, Kled works here in the top lane. I don't know why, but I don't know. I feel like Kled would be a really cool pick to have.
He is pretty good on sticking onto targets, and his charge does get that second cast ability too. So Arcane Shift might not necessarily get him away from that Kled. So I could see an opportunity for that as well. No Ornn to disrupt you here at this point as well. So there's a potential here, but it looks like 9 Lives makes sense. They're saving this counter pick for the top side as they've already picked their mid laner, Victor.
Yeah, Victor's a really strong pick is the fact that you're able to, you have all these late game stuff that you have with him. His ultimate's able to chase around everyone. So much damage in the late game. It's going to really be really strong for Gragas and Ezreal. They do have a pretty good late game compared to Contingent eSports, I feel like.
Yeah, the mid game coming from Ezreal and just being transitioned early from that Karma as well, and you just scale with that Victor and Gragas is there. It's just pretty good. You have a lot of control with their compositions, but this late game, Misfortune doesn't necessarily scale as well. Her most popular build right now is this like First Strike, Youmuu's Ghostblade, being that's a new mythic now. You don't necessarily scale with that. You just do a lot of damage all at once. And with Cyclone and some of these other big AoE ultimates, it'll be good, but it won't scale like you've been mentioning.
There's a lot of AP on 9 Lives side right here. So, Set's, building this like Set and Mood, having these, all these magic items is going to be really strong for them to have. So I'm definitely, excited to see, what builds are they going to go, is that Ezreal build the new lethality build we've been seeing around the Dusk Blade and having these ability damage, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's certainly a good chance for that as well. Like what if you wanted to do damage, but Force of Nature just said no?
I know that's what I've seen.
That's kind of what, yeah, like, oh.
Force of Nature is definitely a really good pick this game right now.
Yeah, just the movement speed and just being able to resist all that damage is super important for Set, and especially being Cho'Gath stacks that HP and just being able to just yeet them over is going to be quite potent here as well. They do have ways of pushing back, whether they just shift back with Ezreal or Gragas just kind of belly bumps them out as well. But if they get caught out, like, the Contingent Purple is just so potent if they get a catch at all.
Also, the fact that you do have the Lissandra ultimate, the Glacial Prison, is definitely be very, very, very good. Like, anyone they see, this Karma wants to get some wards, next thing you know, Glacial Prison happens, and she gets one shot. It's a 5v4 now. It's very, very easy to get caught out.
Or, a Wukong just flash Cyclones your back line, and then you have bullet time, or like that Glacial Prison, like just any sort of thing. You just press the R button and you kind of win any of these team fights with Contingent Purple. Should the gold be relatively even, or they could even win from slightly behind as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Contingent Purple has the draft capabilities, but at the same time, though, that 9 Lives does have this really, really strong poke comp. And so the fact that they can they have a big range, I feel like, against Contingent Purple, as Misfortune is the only one with actually like the range to poke. They do have a really, really strong engage, but they do have Gragas ultimate. You have, as we say, with the barrel, the casket that'll just explode, and next thing you know, the engage is all gone. So, it definitely looks like both teams do have an idea of what to do. It's just hope that 9 Lives is able to push that idea instead of trying to engage on them.
Yeah, and Cho'Gath can kind of just scream at you too, and you can't cast some of your abilities get muted. So that's also an answer should their team not get blown up right away. Warding is going to be so important here. So I think we should really be keeping track of where these supports are going, what kind of roam timers they're able to get for any vision. These objectives are going to be so important to start some of these team fights as well once we get to the mid and late game.
And I'm, and also the fact is that you also got to realize too is that there's a lot of protection that Misfortune has to be able to actually ult, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say there's no way that if they have Lissandra and Amumu go in, right? Wukong is still going to be around, right? And they still have Set to be around too, to peel away from this Misfortune. And Misfortune, I feel like, has a lot of protection that she can just sit in. It'd be very hard for anyone to actually touch her.
Yeah, and he can build items like Black Cleaver as well, just to make her job even easier.
Yeah, so it's definitely, a really good pick from Misfortune. I feel like Misfortune is also super strong. As Youmuu's is a really strong item too right now. Mm-hmm. ADCs right now are in a weird spot, as you were seeing that Stormrazors being the first item being built, and it went from a nobody to the most popular item right now. So yeah. I mean, it's good whenever you have a build that doesn't revolve around the Stormrazor, because it's just something new to see.
Yeah, I've been building a lot of Stormrazors and AD carry mainly myself on the Jinx carry. Let me tell you, it feels quite good, but when you're on that receiving end of the Misfortune, once she gets her build going, oh man, do you get cut in half like a sheet of paper.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Also, I mean, my favorite ADC right now is being the Jhin. I love seeing the Jhin with Stormrazor.
Yeah, I haven't played a whole lot of Jhin with it. I haven't seen a whole lot of him as well, but I can imagine him doing pretty well with the movement speed on that Storm Razor as well, provided there's not too many big tanks like Cho'Gath or Mundo or any of these other big people where he traditionally fails with. But as this draft phase is starting to wrap up here, we'll have to see if this mid game is going to be how it's going to shape up here, right? With Purple having such a strong mid game, not scaling quite as much, and then Nine Lives clearly having late game with Victor and Cho'Gath just being able to scale as hard as they are. I got to give the edge here to Purple. How are you feeling about this, Bard?
Definitely gotta give thing to Purple. I feel like, you know, especially with these like not calling anyone bad, but during these like lower like elo brackets like that, you usually the team that is the easier one to play usually is able to come on top, right? Just because it's just easier to play and easier to pull off. And I feel like Nine Lives has a good composition if I was put into, you know, T1 hands. You know what I mean? Like if it was put into a player like who like understand the game completely, it could be really strong. And if they knew how to play it and how well to play it, I feel like it could take the edge. But I do feel like that Purple has the overall like comp that will take us win.
Yeah, I'm of a similar mindset. But the other thing that I really like to point out for like mid to lower end games is warding. Like whoever generally has the higher warding score catches people out, and this is what eSports Purple's team does. And that's a pretty good indicator of how these games go. And their team really utilizes that weakness. When both teams are blind, the team that can get the best picks tends to do better. Not always the case, but it's a good generalization.
Yeah, definitely.
With that in mind, we'll wait for the caster's delay. Stay tuned, and we'll be right into this game. Hello and welcome back, everybody. Here, welcome back to Style Esports. As we're getting into this early game here, I'm Abbatrombone, and I'm with the one and only Bard.
Yes, and I am. Are you excited as this game as I am? I am Abbatrombone.
I am pretty excited for this game. It's the playoffs. I mean, what is there not to be excited about?
Yeah, and I do see a little interesting runes here. We do say I usually see a first strike in the Gragas, but we know as we see there's electrocute. Anything else you see?
We have a comet from Iron Sniper here rather than that first strike I was talking about as well, which is something pretty interesting. Also have to mention the Conqueror versus Grasp into the top lane, short versus long fights is something to highlight.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as we see, you have a little pokes, not really a poke, but like you have a you have a little short trade with the Grasp, but Conqueror is usually used for the longer trades, and so Set will win the longer trades, but Shogath will probably win those shorter trades.
Yep, exactly. With the Grasp sitting there, it looks like we have a pause coming up into the game here. Just talking about those runes as well. Grasp is also going to give you an additional max HP, which Set likes it when his target has a lot of HP, as he's going to do a little bit more damage in that setup. So that's just going to be more for him.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I love the fact that with Set also, it's pretty hard to even get the short trade because you go in for that Grasp block. Next thing you know, you get E'd by Set, and then you can't run away. You're stuck.
Yeah, especially if he gets anything else that can slow any of those items as well. I think it's pretty interesting that he's got the D shield here for the extra health regeneration from this trading and any poke that he might receive from the Vorpal spikes. But more importantly, Frosty Pencil has a Ruby Crystal to start with rather than a Dorian's item, just trying to rush for that early mythic, it looks like.
Yeah, and I mean the most mythic people usually like to go for the early mythic as much as possible. But usually sometimes when you see the double AD top and jungle, you like rushing the Bramble or Warden's Mail, so you usually see a cloth armor. But I'm interested this through the Ruby.
That's just a little extra HP to get things through. I don't think any of his abilities scale with HP.
But no, his ult, I think.
Yeah, his ult does. His ult does. I wasn't considering that. I was just considering Q3. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's part of the reason.
His ult and his E does.
Yeah. I knew about his ult.
Looks like we are a little frozen here, Abba.
Yeah, they unpause and then repause the support DC. Maybe.
I think it's trying to give us another delay, I guess.
Yeah, a delay. That's just how a lot of stuff works here. Riot Games.
Yeah.
But more importantly here, both junglers are starting with their bot side pathing towards the top, or they might do a quadrant clear, which is not something that I've seen as popular amongst these meta.
Yeah, I mean, also because of the fact that it's just so strong to have the bot side ahead, especially with the nowadays. Just because you have all the bot lanes being so strong, but we do see an early ward, which is kind of interesting. We see somehow there was an early ward onto the Wukong, so they are able to track him pretty well. Flash does come out from Misfortune, and bullet time does hit, but nothing seems to be going off though.
Yeah, that triple pot, she's gonna have a little bit more sustain than the refill there, but so much poke coming out. You think she would want the refill because she's gonna be buying bots just to try and stay healthy in this lane. So much damage can come through these teams.
It looks like we are frozen again. We do love Riot Games having the pause feature.
The pause feature, exactly.
Vander Sauces come out. They do try to take a fight, but there is an ignite going on. Flash from a Mumu just barely makes it alive. Karma's here comes the Lysandra. Jesus, I could not say Lysandra. Maybe does not have Flash though. Could maybe heal both mid laners are very, very low. They're so close to being bot lane and mid lane being very, very close.
Yeah, Iron Sniper at least has heal to try and fade things out, but mid lane does not have that. They both have teleport here. Playing chicken to see who's going to have the teleport disadvantage with that being down such a long summoner cooldown.
Yeah, there is no mana onto the Misfortune, so it's gonna be kind of hard to stay in the lane as most of the poke in her wrath is from being able to have these Qs and have every single bullet time and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the double tap can do so much damage, especially being able to kill a minion does additional damage here as well. And there we go. That's all of her mana. It's a good like 80 mana if you end up using that ability at all.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot, and it's very hard for Miss Fortune to actually lane without it.
Yeah, let's see here. Make It Rain is it's exactly 80 mana at an 18-second cooldown.
Yeah. It is very, very, it is very big. It is like having a Blitzcrank Q almost. Blitzcrank hook.
Yeah, but Blitzcrank, I think, is even more, but his starting hand is a little bit different, yeah.
But there's a bit of poke, but Karma having her shields, it's gonna be kind of hard to poke, and so, Mumu and Miss Fortune really need a jungler right now.
Yeah,
could maybe see a tower dive.
There's a potential for tower dives with how low they are, but the Amumu is full right now. He has his Ignite, and remember, he has 2 charges for those bandages, which can make tower diving a little problematic.
Yeah, definitely going to be very hard for all the CC and slows that they're going to have from Make It Rain.
The flash coming out of Pancakes.
Miss Fortune, I love Miss Fortune. Just the fact that you have all these like love tap stuff, and it's so much more fun to CS, and I love that how easy to CS with her. Yeah,
she is fairly easy to CS because of that, and she's able to get a lot of damage, being able to bounce around. Double tap, being able to provide that extra on hit benefit too, so you get full use of your passive is quite nice as well on her.
Yeah, and also I love you also see all these lethality builds too, and lethality build actually does really strong this game because as we see there is usually we see Gragas running semi tank, have the AP tank bruiser, or he goes the full AP, right? But the fact that he's electrocute makes you think that he might be going full AP, going Night Harvester and all that stuff instead of the Roa, and there's gonna be so much just damage that Miss Fortune's gonna be able to put out with the double up and the bullet time. Is gonna be very hard for Karma to shield every single person on our team when they're getting one tap from Miss Fortune.
That is true. You do have to remember, though, Flash plus the Gragas little dance there, the little dash can be quite potent. If Iron Sniper gets caught out at all, that's a lot of their team's damage. They still have it with their composition, but when we're talking about the bot side, there's other plants on the top side here.
There is definitely plants. There's going to be 3 plants. Here comes the set. He's going to be able to Haymaker, but he slams him, Gragas into these because straight out. He was very, very, very well done, Yeah, he had a showstopper, and then he just, face breakered right and stunned him. And even if they were trying to get him, he could have just haymakered him, and then next thing you know, he's out.
Yeah, just getting that level 6 power spike here as well. And Frosty was so low to try and interrupt it mana-wise that made that difficult as well. They do have that Bramble, though, that you've been mentioning, an early item to be able to deal with a lot of the AD top plus AD jungler combination. But speaking of which, possible gank looks like he's going to get caught out in that ward, though, giving them time to run away.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of pink wards on the blue side here. There is a pink ward into the top side jungle, so there's going to be very, very, they're trying to keep track of this Wukong and seeing where he is at all times. I definitely feel like, though, that Iron Sniper is the carry, and so they're trying to, they need to get gold down in her right now. But right now, it looks like there's not going to be any.
Yeah, that's why I expected that first strike as a rune. It's so potent with her, and it would go very well with her build. But that's not going to be the case. It looks like they're trying to solidify some sort of priority here. It's 7 minutes and 30 seconds in, so Dragon's certainly on the table, not just at spawn, but everyone's had a nice back here as well, so they do a little bit more damage, and they're going to be a little bit healthier with their resources being reset. They had the bot priority, but mid lane, it's a different story. Both junglers just hovering here, waiting to get that first blood, even neck and neck on gold.
Yeah, and one team was waiting for the counter ganks. They're definitely looking mid lane. They're going to just go to Dragon now. Maybe they notice he backed. I don't know.
They didn't have any ward. They're just like, haven't seen him. We'll force it out here. We already got the priority here as well, and they're able to get a shove into the mid lane as well. So that's all they need.
And they get a free Dragon right here. That's really, really strong for having the early healing and mana regen for, especially for Miss Fortune having needing the mana regen, and then also like all the pokes that set's gonna be taken up there. Same with Lysandra. I feel like having this early regen is gonna be really strong.
Yeah, regen is always nice. Who doesn't like extra free stats and global objectives? The other side, CSP here, purple is able to get that lane shoved under into the bot side, so a little bit of gold mitigation there and XP mitigation, but they were able to catch a majority of it, which is good news for 9 lives. Now, they really need this mid lane to get under. Catster is very low in mana.
And ISR seems that they're going for a plate. I mean, it's going to be a pretty easy plate here, and then it's going to back out and get maybe a serrated dirt, or they already have a serrated dirt.
Yeah, they already have the serrated dirt here. It looks like they want that Manamura as well with the tier. Maybe they'll go for it a little bit earlier, or they'll go for that early mythic as well. We'll have to see how the mana and gold lines up here as well. Still neck and neck in gold. 100 gold lead going over to purple.
But this could be very interesting here. Shogoth really wanting this blue buff. He is kind of low on mana, but there is, it looks like going to be a 3v3 fight. There is so much vision to where they can see every single person. So, and the control is just barely going to be cleared. I thought it was going to be spot off. I thought she was going to walk over it and not even see it.
Yeah. And it was a pretty interesting decision here with the way the waves were shoving in here. How much gold are you willing to bleed out into the top side or mid side for this blue buff? But, oh no!
Got the straight flash. Here comes the Wukong Cyclone being able to knock him up. The casket does come out. Set does have Showstopper and is just going to back out, as they're, scared of the 2v2. Not trying to risk anything right now, just barely just get out.
They're just barely getting out here.
Yeah, I mean, the set was very close to being pushed into and splitting up because of how the casket did explode. But, he was able to get out just scot-free.
Yeah, you have to be pretty good at geometry whenever you play Gragas, so Bug being able to get that out is good. You hate to accidentally casket them towards your team members when, they're like a Zed or something that can just assassinate you, or a Wukong that can just kind of jam on you with a Cyclone.
Yeah, and also it's it's very hard for anyone to kill Set right now, especially the fact that he has an unstoppable. Even with this little trade, nothing's gonna really happen with it. No top laner can kill each other right now until there is items on the board. We do see a Bork being put out right now, and right now this could be poked.
Yeah, that Bork's gonna be quite nice, and them just being able to stick onto people and run people down as well, and the extra sustain. Also, really, really helpful as well. It looks like the gold is starting to favor purple here. They're up a good 400 gold here despite not having a kill, but with them getting this play out into the bot side, if it pans out, they can get first blood and change that even more.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the first blood is very, very strong right here. As we see, both teams are very, very scared to even try it out. And risk something. There is going to be a roam into the jungle, but there is vision on them. They do spot the karma. It is going to be Mumu stopping them. It is 4 people in mid lane looking to get the Rift Herald under and just get a bunch of gold with her Rift. Mumu does have the sad Mumu curse, so we could see something there.
We could see something there indeed. It looks like they were spreading that gold amongst 4 people, so it's not going to be concentrated to get that extra early item power spike that you might be wanting out of Victor on Pancakes or anyone else, but they were still able to get some of these plates. Mid lane is an important turret as it's the shortest lane, and if you can free up some of these laners, just getting them to go somewhere else or get some pressure, invade some Raptors, which is a pretty easy camp to do some AoE damage with when you got all your AoE damage like Gragas does. Quite a nice one.
Also, the Gragas thing is also really known for, one-shotting someone, but in my opinion, the only person you can one-shot is going to be Misfortune. And it's going to be hard to getting on top of there in the first place, So, Gragas is definitely going to have a challenging time going full AP here. But we do see, the build path of Night Harvester being built out right now. So, I don't know how this Gragas is going to play these fights. There is an invade going to be coming out. Just to clear some vision.
Yeah, a lot of invades have been happening here. First with that blue buff. Didn't pan out, but still trying to create some of that pressure here as well. Second dragon unlocked right now. And it looks like it's going to be Chem. Oh, is that fighting the top side?
Just a little bit of code here, yeah.
Wet noodle fights. Oh my gosh, look at that double tap with the love tap.
Dang, how hell it's from
300 damage, 298 to be exact.
It is. That was a nice little love tap right there.
Yeah. Yomu's Ghostblade, folks. That's what it does.
It is not fair.
We're almost going to go through the entirety of the laning phase
This now. Without a single kill.
Without a single kill. And there's some like pretty big name champions here.
Who another love tap just come out.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Senzo could get caught out here. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Senzo does have sad mummy, but I don't think anything's going to be happening. Three ultimates do chase him out, but he does get caught out there. You know, there is a lot of CC that they have that is pretty hard for him to do much with.
Yeah, and there was nowhere for them to bandage over. They were just a little in too deep here. That means that number advantage could be transitioning into this Drake here. Unless we think a clone can steal this dragon right now, or bullet time.
I definitely feel like bullet time. If a good bullet time. Oh, right there. Here comes this. Red team does get it. He does scrap it.
Yeah.
As we do see that's a stroke. Yeah, Feast is very, very strong for this field. Gragas looks to be a little low, but I don't think anything is going to come out of it. We do see the Cyclone being back brought over, and everything is just, you know, even Steven now. Well, not even Steven, but you know, there's nothing seems to be happening so far. I like how this game has a lot of like these little like, you know, oh, I'm gonna fight you, but it really doesn't. Nothing really happens.
Yeah, it looks like the Rude went for a traditional Ezreal build here with the Trinity Force. Just able to get a lot of damage there. Pretty good mid-game spike with him as well. Getting a lot of Sheen procs. The Night Harvester here coming out of Assassin Bug. Just going to be able to burst people out if he catches anyone. Pretty potent.
And also considering that it just recently got buffed recently. Because it was trying to match with Sunder, because Sunder has how strong Sunder has been. So yeah. it is a really good strong item.
Speaking of a Divine Sunderer, Fire Ninjas does not quite have theirs yet. They do have the components right now. They're sitting on 200 gold right now. So not quite enough to complete it here. That Ninja's Tabby is delaying that a little bit.
Like Cho'Gath is winning in the top side. There's no Bork right now. So no matter what, like Cho'Gath is just winning these fights. So much sustain and so much health. It's very hard for Set to do much with it.
Well, that and the Vampira can't do as much here as well. He can just walk away here. No,
he's so tanky. Cho'Gath seems to be a problem right now.
Yeah. Don't forget about the plated steel caps here as well. Which
True, yeah.
Make him even more tanky versus all this AD damage, especially the auto attacks being that is new to use from their abilities there, just being able to punch him twice.
That is very it is very hard for. And also, you got to think about, like, you know, if he tries, you know, getting on him, there's Haymaker that happens, but Haymaker doesn't really do much in terms of Cho'Gath whenever you have Bramble and Tabbies, especially if it doesn't hit them center.
Yeah, we really need these spikes here for a lot of these champions, just being able to get these mythics or the Bork, which it's effectively a mythic. I was surprised it wasn't changed to one with how strong the item can be on a lot of champions like Aurelia, Twitch, or Set.
Yeah, Set's just really strong to have. Oh, I definitely think that Set is going to be very strong later towards this patch. I feel like his items are just really good right now in the meta.
Yeah, Bruiser meta is usually pretty strong when they're strong, they're strong.
Yeah, definitely. Same with Assassins. Oh, here comes a Glitch for Prison. Cyclo does knock him up. Here comes Victor ultimate. It is stunned, and Cyclo does have 2 charges. Victor might have forgot about that, and there goes the kill on Victor.
Just being able to get that, the stun not being quite enough. Pancakes got caught out, was playing away from his ward, just walking in. Very good pick here coming out of Fire Ninjas.
Yeah, and he tried the gravity field and the Chaos Storm, but it still just wasn't enough. It's so much CC that they had from the Glacial Prison and the Cyclone from Misfortune. Not Misfortune, from Lissandra and Wukong.
Yeah, and the kill did go over to Fire Ninjas here, so getting that mythic power spike that we've been talking about, just to make him a little bit stronger here. Getting some of these rotations. Does not have their smite completely finished as well, but Assassination Bug does have that little bit of a CS lead, and not to mention an objective lead as well.
I mean, the longer this Gragas holds on to this Rift Herald, the less vision he's getting right now. As we can see, the Wukong is catching up on the vision side, and I mean, actually, though, what the heck? We have 9 lives having so much vision everywhere.
Yeah, 9 lives does. Yeah, the 35 vision score. Holy cow.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my god, wait, yo. Yeah, it's so much.
Yeah, yeah. That's what, 2 vision a minute so far?
Oh, you
Uh-oh.
missed. Oh, the curse of the Night Mummy does come in. The casket does come in. Bullet time tries. Wukong does get the kill off. Is trying with his Qs. Here comes his fortune.
Oh, the teleport!
Yeah, another Cyclone does happen. The teleport's coming out. Iron Sniper does get the kill. Cyclone does have 2 charges still. There is a 3v1 right now. Cho'Gath can try. Here comes Victor coming out. He does have the Chaos Storm. The clone is trying to get away. There is a root from Lissandra. Flash, and here comes Ezreal. There is a kill on Wukong, shutdown, and it looks like they're going to go both 2 for 2, but there is a shutdown on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, a jungler for a jungler, an eye for an eye, but in this case, looks like we're going to be rotating to Dragon, the 3rd dragon of this game, Wind Drake, as it's a 3v5 because Senzo also ended up going down here as well. They are a little bit low, and Feast is not going to be online right now. Nudiu was not able to rotate to that play because they also didn't have teleport. So this is going to put them on their 2nd dragon if they're able to take it.
Yeah, and that's really, really strong to have. But I mean, maybe it could be stolen. It looked like the fights were really good, but look, Set does take the first tower of the game, and so yeah, that's really strong to have on Set too. The split push is there. Cho'Gath is gonna have.
I really like this macro play here, right? Just being able to trade that, you understand your jungler's not going to be able to get there in time for that 2nd dragon. It's not Soul Point. There's no 3rd dragon. Windrake isn't the strongest. Yeah, sure. The extra movement speed is nice to get it to other people as you can get this farm, get to lanes, push the lanes out a little bit faster. But it's not the end of the world. They got time to pick things up here.
As you see on the map, there is the buff sharing now. Oh, there comes a roof. Oh, there comes a glacial prison. The Curse of the Sad Mummy is not alive, but we do have the double bandage toss. You have Wukong trying to see what he can do, and the Chaos Storm just doesn't kill the Lissandra barely, and they do make it out alive. Oh, here comes the Ezreal almost gets him.
That's the thing with those global ultimates. When they hit from like out of nowhere, it's really potent, but sometimes when you just miss, it's like, oh man, so close. If I just hit, that would have been an extra kill here. 3 and 3. Such a potent setup between these two. Not a lot of blood. You'd expect more blood to happen with all the pick options that we have.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's just a lot that there is for 9 lives, and same with Central Purple too. I definitely feel like though, like there's so much. I definitely feel like though that Set is becoming a sort of a problem. He does have a lot of gold in his pocket, so to get the first tower. There is no. I was surprised that honestly the Gragas didn't get the first tower, or because the fact that he had 2 Rift Heralds, and there was no first tower being bought. But the Set did pick it up, and that's basically a whole another kill on Set.
Yeah, Set's able to eat through towers pretty fast. He was let alone for his own devices, and mid was kind of just split there on their own. Pancakes got picked out a couple times as well, so was able to put the damage in there. So makes sense. And we did see that Assassin Bug held on to that Rift Herald for a while. You could see if that mid tower had gotten one more crash, per se, it would be down.
Yeah, and there goes the bot tower. I mean, mid and top are both really, really low on the tower wise. So as we can see, there's damage on every tower right now. All the towers are looking really strong to take.
Yeah, that seems to be the case, especially when you kind of look at how this is going here. The mid game isn't looking super demanding here from CSP. They only have, 1 tower here and 1 dragon. And the scaling team has a gold advantage right now of 1,000 gold, which is exactly where you want to be at this stage in the game.
Yeah, and here comes the Curse of the Sad Mummy. The Glacial Prison does come out, and it looks like there's going to be a straight pick out from the Victor. The Chaos Storm doing so much damage, but the bandage just gets him away from the Chaos Storm. And the Set does get the Conqueror proc and is looking to kill the Shogun. Haymaker coming out, get the 2nd kill of the game. Or first kill on the Set.
Yeah, first kill onto him. Able to get that pick up there, the grab, the Bork, and the Showtime, right? We're able to, or I should say the Showstopper.
The Showstopper.
Stopper. Yeah, man, he was just able to get that out here. Mid lane, they really want this tower here.
Yeah, I mean, Lissandra does get the bottom push off and does take the tower. It does look like though that the macro side is very strong onto Central Purple here. But also the fact is that this is a really good game, as we can see that there is a mid lane tower taken and then the bot lane towers are taken, right? And in my opinion, though, that mid lane tower always matters more than the side lanes, just because the more prio, the more objective you have, more objective control you have on both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not just that, though. It's also that your carries can farm a little bit safer as they can stand to that tower and defend some important jungle.
Because also right now, look how far Misfortune's pushed up right now.
Yeah.
Because right now, Gragas could be, in that jungle. I do have some PTSD from Fiddlesticks, I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, Bobby. I've seen a Fiddlesticks or two in my day. Propane from him.
Oh yeah, exactly. It is very scary to be pushed up this far, especially whenever it's Gragas or anyone that can just like one shot you from over the wall. So yeah, it is definitely scary for Misfortune to be up this far.
I will say they do have their second item, Power Spike here. The Collector, very potent combination with them if they're able to get anything up here. It looks like with how this is going, they don't have priority into the mid lane. It looks like it's going to be fairly even for both teams. Dragon's coming up right now. Third Drake for red side. Second for blue side if they're able to get it. We'll have to see who's going to come up on top here. New to you.
There's a lot of pings coming out.
Yeah. Wards, too.
Oh, yeah.
61 ward score coming from Senzo.
But it's not enough. Samugu's doing really strong. And we're getting vision everywhere.
Both teams have vision on each other effectively here.
We could maybe see, hopefully, if Seth gets a good ultimate on Cho'Gath and puts him into his team, I feel like this could be really strong to start the fight off with.
Could be quite strong, and they're grouped up. Bullet time is active.
We do have Curse of the Sad Mummy. There comes a Showstopper.
Oh, that's
Cyclone plays. Oh my god! Whoa! How many ultimates has this guy? Cyclone, they are chasing down the victor. It does not get that. Curse of the Sad Mummy does get proc and kill, double kill on the Misfortune. Gragas trying to pray that no one finds him, but no one does. No one looks like no one's gonna be finding him here, and they do get the dragon for free. There was like 4 ultimates that all got popped at once without even Mumu being ulting.
Yeah, the combination nation coming out of them. Senzo ultimately did pop their ultimate there. You can see they're all down their big show-stopping ultimates. But on the flip side, Frosty Pencil didn't even get anything. Feast Time was available, but they just died too fast, even with a hard steel tank.
Yeah, because like as we saw, there was like the stun, there was a haymaker. I mean, not the haymaker, the Facebreaker, that's what it is. Facebreaker on the set stunned every single person. Then you have the glacial person coming out from Lissandra, and it was just all CC'd in perfect time for bullet time to come and stop it all. And then as we said, Set did show stop the entire world right there.
Yeah, it was just so well executed by them. And we were talking about how they were down 1,000 gold here. Now they're up 1,000. They're tied between both dragons, which is quite nice. And no one is very close to that soul win condition here. Baron is on the table, though we are closely approaching the 30-minute mark where people might be getting their third item around this time, 30, 33 minutes, where these late game champions start to shine a little bit more.
Yeah, and it definitely looks really, really hard for the later this game goes, right? I feel like that Wukong, I think these junglers are going to be very hard for each of them to do anything, right? Wukong won't have the gold to keep going. As we do see, the Black Cleaver is going to be really strong to have to shred the armor that Cho'Gath does have. And it's going to be very hard for Dragus to do anything too. He's just, I feel like both junglers here are just going to be, the CC bots on the team.
Yeah, CC bots here. We also see the Zonias here as well. So Assassin Bug can play a little bit more risque, or it's going to be a little bit harder to take down as well, so they can feel for their team.
Yeah, we do see the guard breaker on the set. Dragon's being picked out. Oh, the Zonias
he's getting committed too.
You gotta see E. The Everfrost does come out though. Oh, the casket. Oh, the Curse of the Sad Mummy gets the Cyclone does knock every single one of them up. Here comes the Q. The soldier trying to catch and get the Ezreal. The Ezreal does get picked off. Karma looking. There comes a showstopper, and next thing you know, there comes everything. Face breaks Cho'Gath. Death Ray trying, Victor trying to get out of here. All the speed does stun, but behind him, there goes the Wukong. The Wukong is just there, being able to dash, having 3 dashes at once. Face breaks Victor, and next thing you know, there is an ace onto Central Purple.
So well played. They're able to completely collapse on Assassin Bug, getting squashed right there. And that just set the tone for the pick here. Iron Sniper was even late to that rotation here. They didn't get that ultimate off until some of these champions were already dead. They didn't even need them. It looks like Rainbow has disconnected, so pause is going to be happening here. That's not good news for Nine Lives, especially if they have been having large ping jumps. They're making things a little bit harder for them to peel on their team. But that being said, remember in laning phase, one of those 3v3 for the kills? Now it's 13-4 Bard. 3,000 gold lead favoring CSP here.
The amount of CC damage that they have is insane. You do have the face breaker and haymaker coming out from set. No matter how many low you'll get, he will show stop into his entire team. And then right there, the show stop puts it in a perfect time for bullet time to ult, and for Misfortune to ult and get everything and kill everyone. Like it's so much damage that they have and how much CC they have.
Just so much CC, and it's such a threat here if they're able to push this mid tower here. They have so many options. Do they want to push into another lane? We already have some split pushing to the bot side. We have a teleport there from the bot side split push, so they could potentially rotate to a Baron, or they can just get a reset and collect all of this gold that they've been able to get as well, or just set up the vision for whatever play they want to be doing here, so they have more information. It just sends those information like 75. Holy cow.
Yeah, Senzo does have a lot of things. As we can see, he is buying control worth a lot. It seems to be not affecting him in the gold per se. Him and Karma have the same amount, but I feel like Mumu does have more gold than Karma. But I feel like having that much vision, especially when you're in these like pig comps, such as a Mumu and the Glacial Prison from Lissandra, it is very good to have just all the vision they can.
Yeah. When you're trying to get picks or trying not to get picked, good information comes from your wards here. And you're able to make some of these decisions here. Like when we saw a bunch of people on the bot side, we saw NuDu doing that split into the top, which has enabled him to move around the map and get some of these picks, follow up, stay for some of these dragon objectives. It's been quite nice for him, especially when these waves get pushed out as well.
Yeah, and also the fact that we have Lissandra pushing down the bot side, and then you have everyone going mid, right? So no matter what they do, right? So they go in and they can try getting that inhib. They can rotate to Lissandra, get those towers, and then Seth can maybe go top, or they just back out. Like it's very, very strong that they have. I don't know how, but there's just so much vision that Nine Lives has on the jungle. So that's also a strong part. As you can see, there is 43 on Victor. Helping out with Karma having, a little lower ward score than Mumu does. But there's just so much vision right now.
Yeah, Farsight is just a mandatory for Nine Lives. They can't face check bushes. We've seen what happens. You end up getting an ace on your team here. You end up all dying. So they have to respect the team here, which means they have a lot more vulnerable wards here. And it makes it so much harder to sweep for Rainbow here as well. They're not able to get their sweeper here as well. And if your team doesn't have the gold income as well, that means less control wards, which kind of spirals the game out a little bit. That being said, we do have a stopwatch on Pancakes now. They're going to have some extra armor resistance too here with the Seeker's Arm Guard. It's 14 out of 15 right now. And once it gets completed, you get that free 15 as well. So they could potentially be enough for them to stay out. If they get their Chaos Storm into the Zonias, that could be enough to help peel for their team.
Yeah, and it's also, I love the fact that usually people don't like going Shurelias on the Karma. I feel like those Shurelias is a really bad play here. You do have a lot more things that you can run on Karma that I feel like are just better right now. Also the fact that you have the Imperial Mandate to go as a second item instead of because it's not a mythic anymore. I definitely feel like though that Radiant Virtue would be so strong to have. It's like these tankier items because you don't have a tank right now. You have Cho'Gath, but you don't have a Moo Wukong set that the enemy team does have.
I like Shrelia so people can get out sooner, or they can set up some of their plays sooner as well, should they be in danger. Because if you go for Radiant Virtue and you try to heal, you can't heal a dead target, right? We've just seen people go boop from 100 to 0 real quick. So I don't like that quite as much. Maybe you heal up Frosty Pencil a little bit more, but if he's the last one surviving with you, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But yeah, as I was saying, like they just don't have the tanks though. Like they have the damage, they don't have the tanks to tank what everything that Central Purple will be doing to them.
Yeah, I feel like if Assassin Bug didn't play to his name, went a little bit thicker and just tried to soak up some of this damage, went for more of an AP Bruiser item instead of this Night Harvester, to be able to soak up some of the engage and just heal, right? Because that's what Groggy Boy does. He just drinks them with his boys, cracks open a cold one, heals it up, and keeps with his day. But you can't do that when you bring Night Harvester. You go all in or you don't.
Yeah, it is very, very it is very hard for them to have this like that Night Harvester, and then you go Zonia. It's like, yeah, sure, it's good to have Zonias, but I feel like you, as you're saying, you need to go all in. You know what I mean? With the damage, you can't go like, a damage and then a tank or safe item, then another damage item. You have to keep going.
I think Zonia's is safe-ish, but I think they might have needed to go for it as a second item over Shadow Flame, just to respect some of the damage. Third item, I don't think is the time for a defensive item here. If you're going to go Shadow Flame, at this point, you have to commit to Death Gap in my book. Just being able to push people off, especially with how much control there is there. I don't think their game plan is to go all in here, right? When you have Karma and Ezreal and Victor here as well, Mr. Major Laser, you just sit back and poke. If you get caught out and start this big fight, we know who's going to win this fight. The team with the Cyclone, the Curse of the Sad Mummy, Bullet Time, Showstopper. It's going to be enough to end all these team fights. But if you're just able to poke people out, get them low, and then commit to these fights, that would be so much better for 9 lives.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, though, as I'm looking at it, I feel like 9 lives got changed to 8 lives just because the fact that they're losing that life right now.
Wow, they've been aced twice so far in this almost 30-minute game here. Some banter going on in between, chat between teams. Internet always fun between two when you're in the stress of playoffs.
Yeah, definitely scary to have with stress of playoffs too. You're saying.
For anyone who is unaware, this is the current Demacia bracket here. So this is, I believe, just the starting stage here. So whoever goes into the losers for this best of 3 will end up going into the knockout stage. So they won't be out just yet. Trying to play out for that $50 prize at the end of the season, all the way up to, what was it? July 10th is when the finale will be coming up. Okay, now we're finally back into this game. Setting up, we'll have to see which play they end up committing to. It looks like we got a full back from Kaiser here. Floating around the Baron, but a lot of recalls here. A lot of gold singing people, about 1,000 on everyone coming out of CSP except for the sport. Obviously, you don't have as much gold income here as well. But all the big backs have already happened. Pancakes might be able to buy something out of the dead, sitting here with almost 700 gold there. Might be enough for a spike here. But this vision setup, very crucial. We see the control ward and these Farlight sites as well. Senzel could get caught out with this team being super far behind.
It looks like, Wukong is able to just get in, get out. As you say, he saw he was maybe being out of the risk, so he just cloned over the wall and was easy to get out.
Yeah, just going to do the Naruto. Clone in, clone out, get the ward, play it nice and safe. He's 5-1. So clearly doing something right here. And this AP damage is going to be hurting him a little less once he gets this Maw unlocked as well. Dragon coming up in a minute. Baron online right now, so mid priority going to be very crucial here. It looks like Pancake's trying to farm up into the bot lane here, finish up their item as well, recognizing they're in danger, pushing things back to their tower, forcing response, getting that back. Some vision being set up for this Baron as well. A little bit of a disconnect between the macros, between everyone. Looks like we're setting up for Dragon on to CSP, trying to get that third Dragon for the soul win condition.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little it is Cloud Soul, so it's not that very big deal, but I definitely feel like though that having that Cloud Soul on Wukong and Set could be very strong to have. Not having the movement speed. Oh my god, 2 autos was able to do that. Oh my god, he's doing so much damage to Cho'Gath. Haymaker does come out half health on Cho'Gath from just autos. That Bork is putting in the work right there.
Yeah, Bork does so much damage. It's done 2,401 damage so far. Like, it's a good item.
Yeah, it is definitely strong against that Cho'Gath character.
Now, they don't have teleport online right now, so it's going to be a 4v4, 4v5 right now if they end up grouping here. Looks like no one's going to contest it with Pancakes trying to get this blue buff and just doing a response to the mid lane.
Yeah. I mean, there looks like they're going to be backing and shoving mid lane, trying to get some mid prio for the Dragon. Other than that, I don't really see too much. Oh, Victor could be got out here, but that's just immediately flashes. He said, "Nope, not today," for the Cyclone to be popped on him. He is tired of being caught out.
Yeah, that's an important flash here as well. 30 minutes in, 3 items in. The late game team should be starting to pick up some extra steam here, but they're down 4,000 gold. That's an entire item on someone here. So things are looking up for CSP, but we'll have to see how this team fight goes. Stacking. Oh no!
Ezreal's gonna be flashing. Kafka does come out with showstopper. Does get it. Haymaker gonna be popped, and 1,000 true damage can be done to Ezreal from just a single ability. Clone over the wall just barely gets. Victor does get out from having the blast cone. Sandra looking for something else, but is not able to prison up anyone else.
Yeah, and with the man down, it's gonna be so difficult for them to steal this dragon. They're not able to hop in here with Frosty Pencil and get a feast. So third dragon here as well. Extra objective gold here. And with the mid being able to potentially push out a little bit more, they could rotate for a Baron. They don't have the top side priority that they might want, but they might not need it. They do a lot of damage right now, CSP.
Yeah, and I love, and also you see them rotating the Baron, and they're getting the blast cone out of the wall. Seth's being able to get him in a face breaker. Cho'Gath, the Cyclone might be coming out. Trying to get this Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is just barely. The Prison does come out, and there comes the Cyclone, killing the Cho'Gath. Oh my God! The casket does catch the Victor, but the set says, "Nah, we're not gonna go for that." Flash does come out from Lysandra. Bullet time. It is time. Facebreaker does come, and the Victor does. The true shot does not hit 4, but does not kill. Gragas is looking over here, all alone.
I thought that hit everyone for a moment. Everyone was just nice and packed in that little funnel zone that we call the Rift. Assassin Bug could get someone here, but the clone, Naruto strats, OP.
Yeah, he is playing some Naruto right there, but it seems to be that from what I'm seeing, Seth's playing Dragon Ball instead, being able to Kamehameha with Haymaker into Ezreal's face.
Oh yeah, the face breaker. His power level is over 9,000.
His power level is over 9,000 right now. Yes, exactly.
Exactly right now. Baron gonna send him up into Super Saiyan God mode if he's able to get that unlocked, that extra buff for him.
100%. People hate on Dragon Ball for having all these forms, but I'm telling you, watch it. It's a pretty cool show.
More pushing into the mid lane here. A lot of priority coming out of here from Dairud, able to push the wave out, but he's 0-3. Got 3 items, but his items are more of a mid-game spike here. Iron Sniper is going to hurt with their 4 items and be able to prevent some of this poke that they have here with the Knight's Edge. New to you could get caught out, but he's quite potent here, especially with the Titanic fully built.
Yeah, it is very hard to I think kill the set. The set's so strong right now. There's so much. He has so much stuff with him, right? He has a Borg. He has a Titanic to shove the waves. If you want to try running away from him, he'll Stride Breaker. It's very, very hard for anyone to kill the set.
Yeah. What if you wanted to catch up, but Borg Stride Breaker said no?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's pretty hard. We do have Cho'Gath, and Cho'Gath does happen to have a casual 6,000 health. And
casual,
just a little bit. But Bork is gonna say nice. That sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Same with Thunder.
Yeah, sounds good as well. And we saw how fast they died. It was like 4 seconds to do 6,000 damage to that man. He's got a lot of HP and some armor as well, but magic isn't going to be is there, and you're able to shred through it with Black Cleaver.
We do have the curse of the sad mummy could be popped, and the team fight could be won immediately from that being popped.
Yeah, and they've been pretty clumped up here as well. So that curse, that AoE root for 2 seconds is more than enough to change things, bullet time or not.
Yeah, I mean, and also the fact that we do have so much. Oh, they're bush trains. They'll be bush cheesing here, but they do get knocked up and caught out. Set looking around, but doesn't get much. They are very clumped up for Gragas to do a really strong thing. Right, we do have Victor, lasers being able to, get all the clumped up damage too. So I feel like
look at the vision. Look at the vision in that river bush. There's 3 wards and then just one over. You will get caught here.
We will spot you one day.
Getting this extra zone pressure though, super important for Baron.
Yeah, we do see 100 Vicious score being broken by since seasonal.
Yeah, and we're almost pushing 40 minutes here, but the late game team only has 4 kills. It's down almost 4,000 gold. They've been hovering around this deficit for quite some time. What do you? Oh my goodness. So much action happening in the top side. Just walking away. Just tank things. Taking what? He tanked like a casual 2,000 damage here.
Yeah, this is pretty
casual 3,000 damage. My gosh, that's an 80 carry. I wish.
Yeah, we do see the tank meta being very prominent right now. It's gonna be very hard to kill the set. It's gonna be pushing. He says, take Dragon if you want. I'll just take your tower. Cho'Gath pinging that he has to stop the set. Both top laners do have TP. So that could be very strong to have. Force Nature is being bought up from Cho'Gath right now. No Force Nature yet being bought, but there is an Abyssal Mask, which is really strong with Misfortune and Lysandra from Amumu.
Yeah, unmade health. Always helpful in these fights, especially being Senzo can stay in here for a long time. Even Shroud also amplifying the damage onto everyone, just really synergizing with how these teams want to go. It looks like teleport might not be needed by New to You as they're going through here, doing the little dragon dance here.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. I think they're just gonna give it and push lanes. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna fight the dragon.
It was a collapse though with New to You. Senzo's walking up to teleport.
TP does happen. Feast. There is a feast. They're trying to get this. Oh, Cho'Gath does eat it. True Shot Barrage does come out. There is a bullet time. They're flashing the Cyclone being popped up. The prison does imprison Ezreal. They're trying to get the Victor. Victor does get the Chaos Storm, does not kill anyone. There's a flash trying to kill the Cho'Gath and a quadra kill on the Misfortune.
Yeah, the gold lead doing numbers here. The Wombo combo, the combination nation, able to close this game out. CSP looks like they should be able to end this game here. It's going to be quite a while before anyone's going to be able to stop here. Rainbow, another 10 seconds roughly as we chew through this inhib. And these towers only get weaker the closer you get into the enemy fountain here. Yeah,
it looks like this is going to be the end of the 9 lives and on to number 8. We'll see how the second game plays out.
Yeah. Although they do have 9 lives, it's a best of 3, so they're going to have to reverse 2-0 CSP into this upcoming set here. We're going to take a slight break as we wait for these teams to reform. So stay with us as we'll be right back in a moment. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here, Contingent Purple Esports was able to take Game 1 into this best of 3 into the start of the Demacia playoffs for Style Esports here versus 9 Lives. Looks like we're seeing a Jace ban yet again. We saw how important that topside pick was from News, so makes a whole lot of sense here with this brand. Pretty strong play when he gets popping off here. Bard, do you think there's anything else we might be seeing as a band here other than this Wukong, of course?
I think Set was definitely a very prominent player. There was a lot of misfortune stuff, but I feel like Set was definitely really strong for CPE to really have the entire fights, every single one of the fights.
Yeah. No Big Daddy Braum here as well. Words being able to protect stuff. We'll have to see if that set comes out. Top traditionally gets picked a little bit later into the draft. So there's still 2 to 4 bans, depending on how you want to look at it, to get rid of him. But yeah, that being said, Nine Lives does have this priority pick.
Yeah, and I don't know who honestly they're thinking about first picking here. Maybe they're thinking about taking away the set.
They could be. They could be.
Well, think about Misfortune.
Ooh. Misfortune. We saw how well they were to play stuff up, the combinations that you're able to get out. Obviously, you're immobile when bullet time comes out, so if you get picked out like that, it's not good news for you, but did a lot of damage last game, so we'll have to see if Nine Lives is able to pull off a similar strategy. They might not be going for the Wombo combo, but that tends to lean towards that with how she carries and how important the bot lane is into the draft setting.
And we could maybe see a Mumu being picked as a support or in the jungle.
Oh, just to get away. Corruption coming out of Varus. You're able to get a lot more of that CC, piercing arrow, able to pick stuff up. It's going to be a little bit hard to hit the Misfortune with the strut passive movement speed that she gets. But once you land that, it's pretty important. And you get the free Grooviest wound. So I kind of like seeing Varus. I haven't seen him this patch yet, but I can imagine lethality Varus doing good. There's the Amumu.
Oh, there is a Mumu being picked.
Yeah.
So there's Varus right now. That's really strong. I feel like he's really strong. It's the fact that Duskblade's new passive is really strong on him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Duskblade. It's interesting. It takes me a moment to get used to it. I'm used to champions going invisible and I go, wait, what?
And also the fact that Duskblade's new passive is where abilities do 15% damage more depending on target's missing health. So that's what I think is going to be really strong with Varus and the Duskblade.
And the Renata Glask is the strategy that they're going to be going with. She is going to be playing a similar role to what Seraphine is, who's currently banned with her, ultimate coming out. But more importantly, that bailout can also be what they need to get that extra attack speed. The flag also giving extra attack speed. Anyone who cares about it, not just Nine Lives Misfortune play here, but anyone else.
Fork is also really strong too right now. Also the fact that you have a Mumu Plus package, and package is so potent to have in every team fight. If you have package, it almost means a team fight win. There is a lot of new things with Corki being able to have just like everything. Like you can go whatever you want, Corki, and it will work eventually somehow. We do see the set band, as I was calling it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. We were able to see new to you, able to get a lot of utility out of that pick here, and some of these earlier Bork users like Aurelia also is getting banned, and the half brothers here, Yone, getting banned. Gasso is still up, but we don't see a lot of knockup, so I don't necessarily predict that he'll be picked as well. Fiora, duelist into the top side, also makes sense with how this is going. But Contingent Purple Esports will the counter pick this setup.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of things that CPE does have. We're talking about, we do have the chain of corruption to pick out anyone they want to see. They have a Corki package to pick out anyone. They have a Mumu ultimate to be able to grab and pick out anyone. There's a lot of picks they have, such Wani being picked. CPE has a lot of CC that they can just have and be able to use.
They don't have any melee right now to benefit from the Frost here, but we might see a melee top laner help complement this to get some of these ganks and setups. But the AoE and the slows, of course, coming out of Sejuani, is going to be really good for Corki and Varus as well as his piercing arrow. Malphite, on the other hand, good wombo combo, Cataclysm, Unstoppable, Bullet Time, all things that are going to be going with this as well. And the Baby Cage coming out of Viger as well. Very linear what they want to be doing here. So I like the strategy coming out of 9 Lives. Just how well it worked last time.
Yeah, definitely. You have all these knockups and all the setup for Misfortune. The one problem that does arise though is the fact that if Corki just is a little bit patient, right, and has just patient with the package, he can just get on top of that Misfortune, and as soon as J4 ultimates or Malphite ults, right, and next thing you know, like Misfortune's dead and your damage is gone, and then all you have is really Vigar, but I definitely feel like Vigar will be like stunned and just ults it out of the world.
Yeah, and the other thing is it can be very difficult to pin down the Corki because they can dash through a wall as well. So Cataclysm isn't necessarily going to stop them as well. And Renata Glass's ultimate is pretty slow in its animation as well, so you can get out as well. And Call of the Forge God can be a bit disruptive as well.
Yeah, and that is really nice to see the Orin though. I really like the Orin pick. A lot of Orin items got buffed with the new mid patch update. And so, I mean, Orin is definitely strong, being melee and able to wombo combo with Sejuani. And so there's a lot of CC that will be happening.
A lot of CC as well. Going to be pretty tanky. They got some good front lines here as well. And they can just peel away. Jarvan might be kind of going in and dying for the name of this team, Demacia. But they might be able to get some pickups here as well. Both teams scale relatively good. The ornaments, of course, helping out Contingent Purple eSports. The evil stacks coming out for Viger as well. And both teams, I think, have decent mid-game as well. The thing I do have to point out, though, is Purple has some good poke with Piercing Arrow and Corki as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of poke with that is brought into play with having a Varus and Corki. But at the same time, though, is sometimes that poke can be in range of a J4 ultimate or Malphite ult, right? And as we've been seeing, tanks being tanks right now and being able to do as much damage as Vigar is, I definitely feel like Malphite ult is one of the strongest win condition here. So Malphite, I feel like, could change the game. So whether how well they use the Malphite ult could whether be a win or a loss.
Yeah, that could be an important thing here. He's going to be pretty good against all this AD as well. So if they go for a lethality Varus, that could make things a little bit more difficult for them as well. Maybe he goes for like Ginsu's being a mythic right now into some on-hit sort of build. I'm not as familiar with Varus with the current item changes, but I could see either being utilized here. Their front line being Malphite, though, against the mixed damage from Corki as well, could be slightly difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely very hard to stack anything. Also, the fact is that Corki does have the abilities to have these Storm Razor, Static Shiv items, right? And they do, even more mixed damage, right? And so it's very hard to build against Corki to be able to be tanky against him. So Malphite's gonna have a hard time doing that. You guys also gotta keep in account that he's gonna build a bunch of armor for Varus and not, do much to him, especially with the pokes.
Well, and they just have so much wave clear throughout the entirety of the game from Contingent eSports as well. So being able to push these waves to force the fights that 9 Lives might want means they're going to get there first. They're going to get the vision here first, which we saw with their support. They were so easily able to get all this vision advantage here, which changed how a lot of these fights went. If they didn't have the vision that they needed, they might not have won those fights, which would have changed game 1.
Yeah, and also, I mean, as we were saying, there's all the vision that they had, they definitely made a. Sorry, I got distracted from Misfortune Splash Art. But yeah, the vision definitely helped with the win on 9 Lives. So it's very hard for. There's another pick comp, like they're doing another pick thing with the Sejuani and the Mumu and Varus. So it's gonna be very hard to do much from the 9 Lives side.
And Call of the Forge God can also do that pretty well here as well. Early game, obviously, 9 Lives has a bit better of a bot lane here as they can play relatively safe. Misfortune's able to poke people out. Mid lane, both are squishy carries. They're going to get stronger and stronger to the late game. And the top side, it's going to be a bunch of wet noodles here. So I think how this game is really going to shape and take its form is based on how these early jungle plays went. We saw game one, those buff invades, how well they turned out, the resources that were committed, and people dropping farm, and how that ended up shaping the game into the mid and late game. We'll have to see if it's going to be a similar strategy here, as we're not necessarily as strong like a Wukong here, where we have a Sejuani, but we still have like an AD bruiser instead of Gragas here, who's a little bit more bursting to get last game because of the Knife's Harvester.
Yeah, I mean, the Night Harvester is definitely a big thing to have. But I don't know. There's also the Roa. Also, I'm really excited to see maybe the Vigar having the fact that having Stormraiser too, which is going to be really cool to have. Really fun to see sometimes. You'll see a Vigar auto and do half the health. So.
Yeah, well, the last question I think we have to answer here is, who do we think is going to come up on top here? CSP was able to play things quite well into game one, so I'm still going to favor them into this game. What's your thoughts?
I think that definitely CSP has the rough advantage. Also, I really do like Quirky to see sometimes. Because he's he was very prominent in the meta season 9, then kind of fell away, and so I kind of like seeing him again.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned as we wait for the spectator delay to come into here for game 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Style Esports. As we're getting into game 2 in this best of 3 into the playoffs, CSG took game 1, and now we're going versus Nine Lives, who does not have a game yet. So we'll have to see if they can get the reverse 2-0, or if CSG is just going to take this with this 5-point. Bard, do you see anything from these summoners or builds so far that you find interesting?
I do. I mean, nothing really. I mean, I do like the first strikes coming out from the Misfortune this time, and the Vigar. Other than that, though, I mean, everything else seems fine. Like, I don't know, everything is, pretty standard.
Yep, more wet noodle fights in the top lane here. First dragging the mid lane to scale. All interesting things. The cult, I think, is worth pointing out here, just trying to get some extra farm, getting that scalability as well. Means they're going to be a little bit more hurt in the mana department, but it is what it is some days. Junglers sitting on the split side of the map here, trying to play for the different sides. So 315 is going to be a little bit more important. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to accomplish anything into the top side here. So it's a bit of a wet noodle fight.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go leashless, trying to maybe make sure that, hey, because as a ganking jungler, you really like to know, like, let the enemy know where you are and where you're kind of starting, because you like to gank wherever you want and with them being least expected as possible. But as we can see, there is 3 wards already placed up to see where the Jarvis could be ganking at level 2. And so there's already vision placed down everywhere from 9 Lives to make sure to see where the jungler is going to be at.
I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get a whole lot of information out of it, but it certainly did give them some details if there's going to be any early cheese here at all.
Yeah, but the problem with that, though, is also the fact that they don't have wards. There's 3 people that don't have ward at all.
They don't have wards. They're not pushed up, and then of course the Root and Rainbow do have the wards. They're able to get some deep vision and know if they can keep harassing or not. Iron Sniper, though, does not mind being pushed up here. Is able to poke through stuff, and they're further away from their tower as well. Should Senzo be able to find an engage?
Oh yeah. There is a biscuit being popped. It looks like there's gonna be biscuits being popped for Misfortune, and Vigar looking to just. There's a lot of biscuits being popped, being here, and so I mean everyone's looking to just. Yeah, five biscuits, people. So, after lobby being biscuits, Malphite's looking to get an invade or try to get a deep ward at least. It looks to be caught out from Sejuani, be having the aftershock. Both mid laners are both roaming up. Looks like Malphite's just gonna flash over and be perfectly safe.
That ward was not worth the flash there. Going to be a little bit less safe here. Good rotation by Kestor, but unfortunately not able to pick anything up through there. Did force that flash out, though. Counter invade happening, but all of the camps are down coming from that split.
Yeah, I mean, and also, a flash being burned pretty early is not too bad, especially when you're playing Malphite, because you do have an R to escape pretty easily. Unless you're using that to fight, but in reality, tank v tank, you ain't fighting. Both y'all ain't doing damage to each other, so it's gonna be very. I feel like a flash isn't too bad, but it's still like it's not. They knew it was bot side, so you shouldn't shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, a little bit risky for sure. It's just an extra tool to have. Speaking of ganks, Assassin Bug wasn't able to get anything to the bot side there. They weren't caught on a ward or anything, but the Rude and Rainbow have been kind of perma-pushing here, and Iron Sniper's just been sitting there, making sure things are cleared, just playing safe while Senzo just tries to find an engage.
Yeah, and I mean, also, like, there's so much scaling that CPE has, and so I feel like if they're going to get ahead, because, like, at the same time, though, there is scaling, because you have to do the Vigar, but I just feel like Corki, Orin, and like Varus are going to be so strong later in the game that if they get a lead, it's going to be game over for 9 Lives.
Yeah, Iron Sniper's strength is going to be a little bit determined which build they end up going with for scalability, but still, it's going to be quite potent. The cage coming out of Pancakes could be problematic as you're not able to just beeline it straight towards them. Can put you in a bit of an awkward spot with some of these other abilities like Hostile Takeover or Cataclysm. But still, like, you're still able to get a lot of pressure off as just Corki.
Yeah, and also like the fact that Corki is gonna have so much damage, especially when you have a Moo Moo ultimate coming out. Sorry, yawn. You have a movie coming out. You call the Forge God. Following up with that, the next thing you know, you have Varus catching out someone, and like there's gonna be so many targets for Corki to hop on. It's gonna be pretty easy for him in these team fights.
Well, and the other thing is Cataclysm provides extra terrain, which new to you is fine with. That's just more for them to bonk into to get some more CC for their team. And they just want to be fighting these rivers as well. There's a lot of choke points, so it's easier to land all these abilities as well. These piercing arrows, Call the Forge Gods, just any other poke or engage that they want to set up these fights.
Yeah, there's definitely CPE does definitely have the draft capability to take a hold of this game. At the same time, if you look over here on 9 Lives, right? You have a Misfortune, who, as we saw last game, is very, very strong in team fights. The Cage is going to be able to set that up for him. Same with the Cataclysm. If Cataclysm gets multiple people, Misfortune Ultimate will just tear right through everyone, right?
Same with Unstoppable Force.
Exactly. There's a lot of things that are there to set up Misfortune. But the thing is, I feel like maybe they're possibly too relied on Misfortune. Call the Force God does get called, but it just misses.
No,
I don't even think anything would have followed up with that, anyways. Maybe actually Flash. Maybe that's Flash Bonk.
Flash Bonk, Grass Proc, Brittle Proc.
Yeah, and maybe there could have been something.
Maybe if Exodia was formed, but they weren't able to get it. Oh, no one in that bush able to get some more poke into this game. Early Dragon ended up being taken here as well. It does mean back timers were a little screwed up here. They weren't able to get a full push to get into a reset. They already have some back, so not the most crucial here. I don't like early Dragons quite as much. Infernals could be extra damage.
No, that double up on the movie was so much damage. But other than that, there's not much coming on. It looks like they're going to be there is a Sejuani here. But as we can see though, like they're just Sejuani technically was spotted in the sense the fact that her passive went onto a Mumu. If the bot lane actually saw that, if if they actually like caught onto it. But I don't know if they did.
I'm not as sure if they're onto it as well. I don't think they ended up getting caught out on any wards or anything. And it does look like they love pushing out here. And they're just not doing it. So maybe they're sniffing it out here, saying something's up.
Yeah, I mean also the fact that they're pushing, Varus and Mim are pushing, so Misfortune doesn't really want to do much. She just kind of wants to sit there and get her Yomus and one shot yourself, one shot the enemy team to the oblivion.
Yeah, there is potential for them to dive, but I don't think that's going to be the case here.
Oh, Sejuani's still looking. Might get the Lakers. Oh, the Rihanna is pushed up. Looking straight. Here comes the Glacial Prison being. Oh, Mumu does get the curse of the gods.
Ooh.
Oh, but no. Oh, the Mumu pushed up too much.
Oh, no, he missed.
And so they trade 1 for 1.
He missed a still target. No. It happens to the best of us. Oh,
it was so close.
Support for support. They're both going for a lethality build here. That Rude's probably going to be able to get done a little bit faster because of that first strike. But still, first blood taken by CSP.
Oh, Corki's doing so much damage, but the Vanguard is trading back with the Cage, being able to get the darkness down, but Corki just W's a way out. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like it was a good setup, but Mumu just walked too far in.
Just a little bit too far, and they were close to towers, which makes things a little bit difficult for engage supports here as well. You also notice Chains of Corruption is up. That could have been utilized here as well, just to make sure everyone is down and landing some of that free poke, preventing stuff that would have made sure possibly that Glacial Prison.
Yeah.
Mixing up the Lissandra ultimate here, second guessing myself.
Yeah, I did that last game. It looks like Corki needs help shoving, so Mumu's gonna help out. Oh my god! But Varus gets one tap to hell and barely makes it out of there with a flash from Varus.
Yeah, I was about to point out that Yomu's Ghost Blade, and then it was like, oh, Yeah, his HP bar isn't there. It kind of speaks for itself at this point that she's a little bit further ahead in this game here, sitting at 3.6K versus, well, actually, not really that much ahead. Only like 30 gold.
He bought the mana crystal, so and extra longsword.
Not the mana crystal, the tier.
About the tier, yeah, about the tier and extra longsword. Sorry.
Tier of the goddess.
Tier of the goddess. Do you ever think there's any lore behind that?
There might be. I don't read a whole lot. I know there was a whole lot about Blade of the Rune King, and then we got Viego eventually here. So maybe some League lore will be dropped into here later.
Maybe TP does come out from Vygar looking to pick up some waves, but Malphite setting up for an instant Q to get some more stacks on Vygar.
In such an interesting play here, Nudie U's just gonna be able to get some free XP, some extra gold here from the tower plates as well. Just for this second Drake, Hextech Drake, pretty important, uncontested as well. But we saw early Drakes didn't matter as much last game. We'll have to see if that reflects into this game as well.
Yeah, we do see a Hexdrinker being first bought from Corki. Even though it's only like 1 AP, Vygar is definitely very strong and definitely good to buy that against, having that lifeline. Sometimes that unexpected, right? Because, you're in Vygar ult range, but then your lifeline helps it to where you don't die. But Malphite does get the ult off, and he W's into the cage and does not get out. Malphite flashes and barely is able to live. Unstoppable force proven to be an unstoppable force.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of our unstoppable force, I'm Sniper.
Oh my God! I took away for 1 second. Next thing you know, it is time for bullet time to catch out Varus.
It is a bullet time, milady.
Exactly.
Almost Ghost Blade. The magical footwear also going to make things a little bit faster for her. Strut, extra movement speed, an extra 25 unless you don't get hit for 5 seconds. That's another 65 movement speed here as well. Yomu's finally unlocked for Iron Sniper, though. This is going to be a huge deal for him, especially that he has his magical footwear as well. Things are looking up, though, for 9 lives. Up 300 gold. They are up 2 kills, which is a little bit behind what you would expect with 2 kills ahead. Partially because of the CS gaps into the top side and the jungle. They do have a nice CS lead into the mid lane and bot lane as well, which has helped mitigate some of that loss as well.
It's honestly surprising to see a CS gap in the jungle for how long Sejuani is in the bot side, doing almost nothing. She was being AFK, and she seems to be ahead of the jungle, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. But you also have to keep in mind that 2 objectives have been done as well, which is doing committing a lot of resources for that, which takes up some time here. Guardian, nice on Rainbow here, but still eating
4
up
people on the
shield.
bot side right now.
Yeah.
Corki does not have package, so it's, I don't know. Maybe they're just looking for a little thing.
And maybe they are looking for a thing here. Looks like we're going to get a
Warren looks into two big dudes just trading blows up on the top side right now.
2 big dudes showing. Oh, the bang!
Flash misses. They're looking to. Oh
my
God! The ult does, and everything misses, and next thing you know, there is nothing to be done in the bot side.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, there goes Corki. The darkness came down, and Corki just happened to fall from it.
Get nade into the middle lane. So much CC. Hexdrinker has just not stopped enough. Oh my goodness.
Well, that was that right there. Misfortune felt the pain of having a double up. Varus is like, you've been doing this to me all game. I'm gonna do it right back to you and see how you like it. Misfortune did not seem to like it as she just ran home and cried.
Yeah. That being said, mid tower seems to be falling down. They're gonna take it out before this charge is gonna be happening at all. They potentially get a charge happening to this tier 2 mid tower.
Yeah, they're good. That's a second charge from Shelly. That's a very, very big deal to have, especially as a mid laner who's trying to scale. Honestly, though, I feel like that was not a good play, right? Because think about it, right? Corki is now able to get some even more farm, and he wants to push into him. He wants to push into him, right? So if Corki can somehow start out freeze in the mid lane, it's gonna be very hard for 9 lives to stop it. especially with how like far is pushed in, right? And so, I mean, yeah, it's good for the Drakes to have. At the same time, I don't know. It just feels like I feel like Quirky having the push into him is honestly not too bad for him.
It's not too bad, but they also had that push into the bot side. It's effectively down here, sitting here with 181 health. So a couple autos coming out of Misfortune will be down. There's not like a better spot for Rift Herald to go other than possibly top side, but that's going to be kind of hard to get in. So midline, I think, was fine.
Oh, there comes the curse. It's a straight pick out, but they kill him? He is stuck in the grub, and they kill the grub because they could not hit him. The glacial snipe almost just barely misses J4, but the Varus ult does barely pick him up. Oh. You know, we do have a Renata ultimate coming out. They do pick up the Renata.
The bailout!
Misfortune just barely gets out. Renata being able to revive her teammates from a single ability is one of the most craziest things Riot has ever done, and Misfortune has proved it today.
Chain of Corruption landing, getting some of that pickup. Not quite able to get Assassin Bug there. The bailout was so important there. Though
yeah,
the numbers the way they are, the health pools the way they are, this is looking like a nice dragon for the scaling team that is CSP here. More resistances on New to You and Fire Ninjas is going to be quite nice, as they are very tanky and should be able to survive some of bullet time. That being said, the Rude 3-0 right now, almost getting that collector there to get people. It's quite important that they get it. They're sitting at 1,100 gold difference to the top side.
Darkness comes down, and then there goes the primordial burst.
Primordial burst.
Yeah, primordial. What is that? That is a weird word. Yeah, no, yeah. Vanguard just be able to pick people out just like that. Vanguard is getting really, really strong lately. 163 stacks right now.
Yeah, a lot of APs coming out of him, able to get a lot of picks. We saw the rotations here. Frosty Pencil saying, sure, you know what, you're going to top tower. I'm going to make my Yordle a little bit bigger here so they can stand up tall.
It looks like Orin might be picked out here. Here comes the call of the Forge Gods. Is why he's trying to help him out. You guys get a 3-man knockup. Cloud comes out. Unstoppable force going through the catalyst. Bullet time gets the pick on Orin.
A wombo combo here. Well played by Nine Loves. There's a lot of ultimates here. We're seeing the return. They're still down on numbers, though. A lot of key plays are down. Oh.
The curse comes out. Here comes Bear's trying to pick out what they're trying to steal what he can pick out right now. There are catch out. He is getting. Oh, here comes the ultimate from Varus, being able to get everyone low. And next thing you know, they thought they were up, but Varus showed them why they are down.
Yeah, they used a lot of those big plays there, and they weren't quite able to get Fire Ninjas in time, which means the Rude did not get bailed out. They ended up dying, which is just such a crucial person for them. 450 gold shutdown, so that's 750 gold going over to Sejuani by Fire Ninjas. Very good for them, and they ended up getting more kills onto Iron Sniper as well, living up to his name, getting that piercing arrow as well into the top side. Good counterplay there, able to keep that outermost turret on top side alive a little bit longer. Probably it's not going to do a whole lot for them, but it is denying a little bit of global gold, which can help even out some of these fights. It's 6-8, but the gold is even.
Yeah, they used so many ultimates on the Orin, but the Orin being so tanky was able to soak all of it up. And next thing you know, there was no ultimates, but there was all the ultimates on CBE right now. You see, CSP. Sorry, I cannot say that. I cannot say words today.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were so many ultimates on them, and they were able to use it and clean up from what that got taken away.
Both teams are committing to ultimates, pressing the R key the best they can, and just trying to outplay people here. We've seen the dives, we've seen the setups here, and we're seeing the ultimates being down again, which means New to You is going to be a little bit more vulnerable here. They're not playing set this game to where they can just kind of 1v1 or 2v1 with their Bork. Oh no.
We're going to be caught out here. Just easy and well done. Movie was not supposed to be there, and they showed him like he was definitely not supposed to be there where they were.
Yeah, that was definitely illegal there. Though he wasn't lonely. He had plenty of friends to come around with him. That being said, though, this is going to rotate into a nice Baron play here. They're probably not going to be able to steal stuff, so good news for 9 lives, especially if they just stand here and wait. Oh!
It does get it. The Call of the Forge God does not forge the Baron.
It does not end up getting him as well. The pierced arrow, not able to catch it as well, unfortunately for them. They were able to get a bot tower, which is good news as they're not just sitting there and watching the enemy take the Baron. They were able to get some sort of push. It's going to be harder for them to get utility out of this Baron as it's longer for the minion waves to move down, making the buff less effective, which is what you want to be seeing when you lose that buff fight.
Yeah, and also like the fact that you like they're able to catch out the Mumu and then they're just able to get, transition that to Baron is really, really good. A really good power play from 9 lives. Trying to bust out their lead more than looking for Dragon right now. It's gonna be very hard for CSP to actually. They do need to catch up, but I feel like they can catch up in a sense. You know what I mean?
I think they can catch up. They just need some of these ornaments. One more level onto New to You, and that'll be the Unspoken Parasite will be unlocked, which will be nice for them. Just not getting caught out here as well is pretty important. Senzo's been caught out, and he's very important as well. There's the Unspoken Parasite that I was talking about before.
Yeah, and also I definitely feel like though, because like the Orin is like not in these fights. He's in the top side. Malphite's showing, his macroness. He's able to push that top side and lose, and a lot of XP is getting lost from Orin right now. I have tower damage also. They're taking Dragon, but honestly, 9 lives is like, sure, take the Dragon. We'll just take your tower right here. And then they're getting what, 2 towers off of a Dragon play, which is honestly not too bad.
Yeah, not bad. And they're tier 2 towers as well. This Call of the Forge God isn't going to be catching anyone out anytime soon.
They do. They definitely do not want to fight right now with Corky package right now. Corky about to package in and see what he can do. He does get the ensemble force. There is stun. Everyone is stunned on 9 lives. Renata ult does come out, trying to say what she can. Cirelli's trying to get out. No one can kill this Malphite though. Protein shake being approached. Double kill on Misfortune. It is time for bullet time. Sejuani killing the Renata, but just barely tickling her and tickles her to death.
You might be like, all right, so min support versus min support, but there's a Baron buff as well, so getting those off. That's nice. They're probably not going to be able to get any more turrets off of that. They did lose 2 for that Dragon, which is not where you want to be, especially if you look at the gold right now. 41.1 versus 38. That's 3,100 gold difference. That's enough to close games. You can come back from this. It's not GG handshake, but it does make things a little bit harder. It makes it harder to force out some of these fights. But with a lot of ultimates being down, they can certainly use their leverage to try and catch people out and get some more gold, capture some shutdowns as well.
Yeah, the Sejuani does have more gold than the Jarvan. I definitely feel like at this point, though, you really have to look at, jungle as a whole. And I don't feel like the jungle items on Jarvan just uses Black Cleaver to, nerf the little... Make sure his team has more damage. Double Force does get 2 people. Cataclysm comes down. It is time for bullet time to come out, but does not come because it's on cooldown, actually, from last fight. My bad. But, just like that, the Wombo combo of Double Force, the Cataclysm, was able to pick out a Mumu. And Mumu not being in these fights, being able not to have his curse of the binding and all this stuff that he's going to be able to provide for his team not being there is actually really, really, really bad for TSP.
Yeah, CSP getting caught out pretty consistently trying to find this vision. They need to recognize that they're behind, and getting vision like this is dangerous. I do like these Far Seekers, but, Iron Sniper, you only got 6 vision score right now, 24 minutes in the game. Kind of important that you push the 4 button. Pretend you're Jhin every, 2 minutes.
Oh, the Call of the Forge God comes out, trying to see what he can get. Knocks up J4, just trying to get out. Renata ultimate does come down. Time for bullet time, but everyone's berserk. The Glacial Person comes out, trying to save what he can. A Mumu does come. They're on to the Corki. The Corki does live out. The Mumu is still in the middle of him. Does get the curse. Double kill on Misfortune. Iron Sniper trying to snipe the Misfortune. Does get a little poke off, but it trades just 2 for 1.
top laner and support. Oh,
Force does stop in the back and is trying to kill Corki. Corki goes in, almost one-shotting Renata. They're trying to stop everything they can because Vygar's getting those top side. Jailbreak coming now and it's stopping the death from Renata. Vygar does go down.
No.
Iron Sniper is dead. Vygar is getting the inhib.
Yeah, not where you want to be here. They just keep getting caught out here, and they're down 6,000 gold. Not looking good for CSP here. They have some scalability, but when your base is looking the way it is, you only have 2 towers here in the side lanes as well. It's starting to look like we're going to a game 3.
And Misfortune is 11-1 right now. Now what you need to do is somehow get that Misfortune bounty onto one of your carries, such as Corki or Varric. When that happens, you could come back in the game.
Yeah, there's potential there. But, if you look at the items, 2-item mid laner versus 3 items with an elixir, 3 items pushing to a 4th versus 2 items for their carries, an 11-1 Darude. Misfortune's winning these games right now.
Yeah, maybe this. Oh, here comes a call. The Forge God trying to pick out someone. They're getting out on Malphite, but Malphite is having a protein shake over there, and it's not going to take anything.
Flag and Drake catching out here as well. Assassin Bug just not wanting to get squished like they were last game.
Yeah, Frosty Pencil's
oh no,
sitting there. Oh, here comes a knockup. Oh, it's 20, but Sejuani just drifts over the wall and is perfectly fine.
They can't take this fight here. They really need to wait for the resistance shreds from Baron Gaze, but not going to happen with how fast they're taking that. Not to mention
Sejuani's going to look for maybe a steal.
Yeah, Pancake's pushing the bot here.
Oh, and here comes... Oh, but the Misfortune does take it. Ult Unstoppable Force onto Mumu. Mumu does get out. Sejuani's looking to try to get out. Cataclysm comes down, gets stunned, but does nothing happen. Misfortune takes a double kill on the... Or single kill on the Baron. I thought that Mumu died for a second, but it's not happening.
No, just blast count over. They're able to play things nice and safe. No one died from 9 lives. It looks like these extra lives that they have here is going to be enough to take things out here. They have so much pressure here. 2 inhibs down. They can probably get this tower inhib as well. And with Baron buff, these double super minions are going to be very, very potent. I do have some wave clear, but the engage threat super high.
And there is a package on Corki right now. Corki having packages is actually very, very strong. Makes him, way stronger than he has been in these fights. Could maybe catch out the Misfortune. Once Misfortune dies, I feel like they could have a chance in the fight.
Yeah. Yomu's Wake also online the ornament on Iron Sniper, which is nice, but I don't think it's enough here. Just so much pressure here, and they're not able to respond. And we're seeing 2 people here onto the top side as well.
All the Forge comes out trying to stop him, but nothing really comes out. Varus didn't even take out the shield from Malphite. There is going to be nothing really done. Porky trying to find a flank, gets a package off, but nothing happens with the package. Cataclysm comes out, Renata gets every single one, Bullet Time comes out, and it looks like it's going to be GG for 9 lives. Yep,
that's just going to be GG here. You can't go in for these deep fights and try and start stuff here when you're 10,000 gold behind. It's just not going to work here. They have to play to those 2 towers and try to get some extra damage there, or wait for a misstep here as well. Maybe wait for Pancakes to be low in mana, but this is going to be a Nexus as a punishment, and that's the game. And, 50 gold, if that matters to you at all.
It does. It does matter to Nasus.
It matters to Nasus. Love it. Love it. 1-2-1 here between both teams. Now, what do you think really led up to this? Of course, we had Darude's Misfortune.
Honestly, I feel like the Sejuani being able to set up the early game definitely helped out a lot. But the thing is, though, Sejuani's setting up this early stuff, right? they didn't really have anything. There is only like one gate that really worked out whenever she was trying to set up. And so because of that, J4 was able to get all these objectives. He was able to start up, get the quirky, get the Vigar ahead. And I definitely feel like though is that the jungle difference in this game actually helped a lot. And it got Misfortune ahead. And when Misfortune got ahead, it was basically all over, especially with how much setup they had. Corki didn't even do that much too. The fact is that you had a Corki, but the Corki never dived, right? And I definitely feel like that needs to, like, I mean, that needed to happen. Corki needed a dive, but he never did. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure if it's just how Corky ended up not diving or anything. I think they're too far behind to go for some of those plays. It was the objectives not being counter traded here. They were too far behind when they had so much in the scaling basket as well, and they weren't able to really pick out the Misfortune as well. So they just lost a lot tempo wise from the game just because they weren't able to capture some of these objectives and capture some of these towers. They also just missed a lot of abilities, right? We saw a lot of bandages getting missed, which happens. The Glacial Prison, which ended up missing several times. The Chain of Corruption, not quite coming to fruition as well. And that was a lot of their composition as well.
As we saw on the bot side, there was so many abilities that were missed, and for free early kills that weren't there anymore.
Yeah, that would have really shaped how that game would have went because Misfortune would have had as much gold, would have had more gold on a AD assassin Varus as well, which could have been enough to really pressure out the Vigar being piercing arrows range is like a scream.
Yeah, and it's very, very strong to have. That's whenever you. The only thing that changes it is really Zonia's. But if you force out a Zonia's on a Vigar, then you have Glacial Prison to stop to counteract that.
Yeah, yeah, you had so much that you could do there as well. Just to give you an idea of how big Varus's Q range is, it's the same as your XP range. So if there's any people who play ADC there, that's how you know if you're an XP range or not. Varus Q.
That's crazy.
Yeah. One of Vex's abilities, I think, is the same. Her W. I forget which one it is.
Ultimate, probably.
No, it's not the ultimate because the ultimate goes much further out. It's either her E or W, and I don't remember which one's got the larger range. I don't play enough AP mid. With that, though, I think we'll wrap things up. Waiting for game 3. Wait for both teams to figure out what they did wrong. Transition to game 3 to see who's going to come up ahead in this best of 3. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Game 3 in this best of 3 into the playoffs here. 9 lives versus Contingent eSports Purple. Getting back to the original sides here. It's effectively a best of 1, trying to get further into these playoffs right now that have just started into the monster bracket to try and get that prize money coming up into the future. Similar bans coming up. Brandon Seraphine, not allowed here, Bard.
Yeah, they definitely do not want a Brand. They're banning Brand a lot. But as a fellow bot lane player, I can definitely agree. I hate Brand. Brand and Zyra are most hated people I play against.
Oh God! When I played in Style Esports, if I saw the enemy support had a Zyra, I went, I am captain. This is getting banned. You have no say, team.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I cannot stand up here.
A new AD carry mode going to be unlocked here. No misfortune.
Yeah, they definitely they are done with that.
Blue side first picking misfortune's been pretty strong.
And I mean, as we saw in both games, like it was definitely prominent and definitely shown like why misfortune is strong right now.
Yeah, in competitive games, just being able to play around bullet time, it's just so important. It's just so strong. You can get a lot of value, and it's not like Misfortune's a very difficult champion to play. She's more ability-centric here. And that being said, Wukong's on the table and has been taken. I like an early jungle pick. I really do.
Yeah. Also, I feel like early jungle pick is also really good too. You know, because I think blue side's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, right? Because you get that first pick, as you were saying, the first pick Misfortune was really strong to have. But like at the same time, it's like you can get easily counterpicked by that first pick that you have, you know. So blue side's strong. I feel like blue side's strong when there's a strong pick that needs to be picked. But if not, then you usually like to go like an engaged jungler.
Well, like just anything that's contested or is super important for your composition, or it's just like strong. It's like pick ban, boom. And I feel Wukong's pretty strong. We saw him do pretty well for his team right now. Can make things a little bit difficult for Tristana if he stays in the back, just a Cyclone, or if he goes in. Zaya, Rakan also going to make things down. They're going to be down with the quickness. Just so much peel here for that team. And they have good scalability. Zaya is quite the hyper carry.
I have to disagree with you, actually, Trombone. I don't know. Ever since the new items came out, I feel like she's in a weird spot. And the reason being is because you don't have Navori plus Gale Force anymore, because they're both mythics. And so you lost the damage from Navori. But if you want to go Navori, you lost your dash, and you need a dash to have your like good ass feather pools that you get. You know what I mean?
I think the repositioning from Gale Force is going to be good enough. They're not going to be able to get the Infinity Edge as well. That being said, though, she just needs to land 3 feathers, and a lot of these targets are going to be taking quite a bit of damage. There was also one of her older picks where she just went for more of a poke lethality build, and lethality is pretty strong right now as well.
Yeah, especially as we're saying every single agency is doing it right now.
Yeah, Domos could be what they need. The extra movement speed could be enough for you to reposition and get those feathers up, especially if you have a ghost on top of that.
Yeah. Tristana and Nami being pulled out. I'm kind of interested in seeing Nami, to be honest. Usually because Tristana, you like to go like a engage type thing. So I don't really know how I feel about that Nami pick.
The rocket jump is a bit of a slow, which can help land bubbles, which is pretty tricky. If she does go for Hail of Blades, though, for that style of play, the E that comes at a Nami can help enable the burst amount of damage, the bombastic Tristana, trying to get some of those kills. If not, Tristana also still scales pretty well and has a range advantage, which is good versus Zaya.
Yeah, I definitely see it, like, a couple sides of the play. But also, like, as we're seeing, like they have like a go-in comp so far. I don't know. Maybe Nami Ultimate could be really strong too to have.
Yep. You also have to keep in mind anyone that goes through it gets a little bit of a movement speed buff as well. Not just the ultimate, the bubbles and everything else, which can be nice for their team. Gnar, I love this pick into sign the range versus melee matchup. Gnar also de-incentivizing things. Just say, hey, come in all you want. I love that extra terrain, Jarvan. I'm going to knock you up into it. Oh, and the miasma from Cassiopeia.
Yeah, people are about to be mesmerized, definitely.
Yeah, they really do need this AP damage, so I don't think they'll swap out of anything. Oh, or Syndra. Syndra also good being able to shove people away.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, Syndra is also really strong right now too. I feel like, especially with the extra terrain, because if you knock people into it, you get stunned. So I mean, also, I mean, there's a couple of things with that too.
I also like just that the counter picking for the mid lane here. We saw how important that mid lane fight Pancakes versus Catstore is, and that's what you need. Victor, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to deal quite as much with Syndra. The wave clear there is going to be nice. Syndra just rounds out teams so well. I kind of just like her in general. She just kind of goes in any team. Being able to push people away with your ball E, your ultimate can finish people off. It's nice.
It definitely is nice to have. Also, with the fact that you do have, I don't know why, but I just feel like Victor, like, I don't know, Victor never feels like he's doing crazy damage until out of nowhere with Chaos Storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't do any damage. It's just like, holy crap, I just got deleted, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to wait for those like item upgrades too, as well, for Victor to really pop off.
It looks like there's
and that item, that was his old kit from like seasons ago. It's his ability upgrades now.
Yeah, I mean, the ability upgrades is really strong, especially with the late game. Syndra and Victor both having literally almost the same exact passive.
Yeah, that seems to be the case here. Both these teams, big ultimates, big area effects, engage, disengage coming out of Contingent, and Nine Lives can just kind of go all in here as well. They have a potential split push strategy on both sides as well. Nara can split push, Sion can split push here, so we'll have to see what teams each end up building. I just see a lot of health stack Sion, so that's probably what we'll be seeing there, just some sort of team fight. I'm assuming Nar will just match.
Yeah, I mean, also, we do have Sion being able to roam down wherever he wants to be, too, with his ultimate, right? So you can, like, either TP or ult down there, or you can even ult to lane. So that is a really good pick right now, too.
It is kind of declarative, though, like Nocturne, you're like, oh, the screen's black. I know who pressed the R button, can't miss it. And said, it looks like we're going to be going into the pick phase, into the league client here. So we should probably be talking about who's going to be having the advantage in this setup here. Both teams have taken a game and both have utilized their leads. So who do you think is going to be able to get this lead into this third game here?
Depending on how well this J4 plays, I definitely could see Nine Lives, getting the early lead, just the fact that J4 is a really good early ganker. But I also see, Rakan Zaya doing good in the bot lane against Tristan and Nami. Rakan's able to knock up Nami because she has no dashes, and I can get a good follow up, and just because Rakan Zaya is also really strong at basically doing these engages and then disengaging real quick. They don't have they can be in and out wherever they want to be. So I definitely feel like Zaya and Rakan do have the lead to the bot lane, and I think that could mean, depending on how J4 plays, counteracting Zaya and Rakan, could decide whether how the game plays out.
I was actually going to say the opposite here. Zaya has a pretty weak laning phase. They can potentially catch up the Nami, but as long as Tristana and them are together, it's going to be difficult for them to go into. If you single that damage into Nami, Tristana can always just jump in with her rocket jump, get a kill, and then she can get out pretty quick on her own. As well, that resets, and you can use it to buffer any sort of the knockups that Rakan might have as well. So that makes things pretty interesting. Jarvan and Wukong, I think, have semi-comparable clear speeds. Jarvan, I think, might have a little bit faster of a clear, which might set him up a little bit more here. And then, of course, we have to wait for the wet noodle fight to finish up into the top side here. It's going to be difficult for both of them to kill each other, especially until they get their big name ultimates. I think it's a bit of a toss-up here as to see how these junglers are going to be able to get some of these early objectives, if there's going to be some punishment on either side of the map, or if they're able to get some of these picks. The laning phase has been pretty quiet.
Yeah. I mean, in every single game so far, it's like it still waits until 20 minutes for there to be any action at all. I got some popcorn and watch, Sweet Life on Deck over here, and just chill out until laning phase is over almost.
Yeah, going to the Yumi gameplay.
Oh no.
Oh, and both teams have like decent wave clear. Tristana's passive on her E, able to get stuff there. The Feather Pull, of course, does reduce damage to minions, but you still have pretty decent damage because of the feather that can shoot through people. Syndra obviously has good wave clear as well. Victor has good wave clear here. Zion has it as well, and Nar isn't quite as good, which makes me think Red Side might have a bit of an advantage when it comes to this. But we'll have to see how this game comes through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Also, the guy was helping Tom Kinch. I think Tom Kinch would have been amazing here if he actually picked it.
Yeah, they would have had to pick it in draft phase, of course, but
yeah,
Tom Kinch does have a pretty strong laning phase, which could have utilized some of this as well. And just being able to eat people and just get them into safety is pretty nice. I certainly see its utility. I think with that being said, unless you have any more remarks here, we'll wait for the suspense of Game 3 to come in through the spectator delay.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how this works out.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Stay tuned for Game 3. Hello, welcome into game 3 here. In the best of 3, non-lives taking the second game, Contingent eSports Purple taking the first game here. Looks like we're going with a standard 5-point no invades here. Do you see anything extra spicy this game, Bard?
Honestly, not too much. There's nothing really too crazy.
There's a ghost from Zaya, but I feel like that's perfectly fine. Everything is just chilling.
Yeah, pretty big chilling here. Lethal Tempo trying to scale things out here. No Halo Blades like I thought there might be a chance there goes with. It looks like they're with the more scaling option, Lethal Tempo here. Summonary makes a lot of sense from an Enchanter fighting for that ward into Raptors, trying to catch the early jungle here. Makes a lot of sense. Early vision can be quite helpful to make sure your laners don't get ganked. Hex Dragon is going to be the first one that's going to be coming up in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, roughly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hex Dragon's really good to have. But it kind of sad we haven't seen a Hex Dragon soul. Both souls have been kind of useless, so we maybe could hopefully see like Infernal Soul, but that dragon is like very strong to have, and so the soul is like very priority for both teams.
Yeah, no Hex soul this game, unfortunately, as that just kind of wins games on its own. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, it won't be Hex. Maybe it'll be Infernal, or maybe get some extra beefiness from Ocean Drake or Mountain Drake as well. Looks like the scoreboard isn't quite showing up here. Let's see if this fixes it. Ah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, but no, I definitely feel like though is that I don't feel like though is that the fact that dragons like are always like a hit and miss, right? And as we've been seeing lately, is that like they prioritize the first dragon. Each person who prioritizes the first dragon that seems to be the one who's like taking the L in the game. Because that's where last game person did, but they it's loses tempo. It doesn't like get you much. It doesn't brawl on the top side, but Scion's just taking everything. Just doesn't care.
Range versus melee. That's what I was highlighting before the extra damage. You're kind of like a bruiser vein there. Game 2, the winning team, I believe, took the first 2 dragons there. They just had so much pressure there from all those objectives that they ended up taking things, I believe. Game 1, though, I believe Nine Lives took the first dragon. Didn't get a whole lot out of it because that split push into the top side. They were able to get the early pressure into the top side and ended up getting the first tower. So yeah, I agree for the most part, though. Early dragons over evaluated.
Definitely. Also, like sometimes even sometimes even like a Rift Herald's even just like way better to just go for it instead of dragon. Like why would you go for that instead? I can go for some towers.
Yeah, first Rift Herald gets you a lot of gold just because of the plates. That's why it ended up getting nerfed several patches ago. Rift Herald 2 is a little bit more dependent on game state, as you really want to be able to pressure out a tower and just really put down the gas. Since we're not able to do that, it's not as important. There's other variables like do you have a Belvath, or does it stop the other team from doing something super degenerate and opening up the game?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely, but I feel like objectives like this season have definitely changed a little bit of how people have been playing the game for the past couple years. It's just a lot of different like states of the game that have been variables that came up. Wukong looking at the top side here. We're about to get Meganar. Wukong just sits there and acts like he's in a cyclone. He's baiting out a flash, but does not happen.
Yeah, trying to pretend that he has his invisibility to hop on. Oh no, the boomerang!
But the boomerang comes out. Here comes the smash and stunning him, but nothing seems to be coming out. There just seems to be a Scion just tanking everything.
Yeah, anyone with the call here as well, just trying to stack up the HP with the grasp, like I mentioned in the draft phase. But with Darude pushing in, which is super easy to do with Tristana, it's going to be very difficult for them to get any sort of engage or poke here. Meanwhile, Senzel could potentially pick someone out if they're not careful.
Yeah, and it looks like Silence is going for the farm, having as we were saying, having Nicole. But I don't know if he could be going for like a lethality, but I don't think that's gonna be happening. just a little tank, and just having Tristana Victor to be doing the most part of the damage. The Rakan stops the Tristana jump. Tristana looking to trade some back some more. Rakan looking for her, but just seems to be eating back to her.
Short little trade. Yeah. Sticking together like it's Valentine's Day. Getting some extra poke here. There is an exhaust that's available, which does make things a little bit awkward here, especially with Iron Sniper's limited range of 525.
So it's again, double times, 2 times. Seasonal feeling good about himself, stopping Tristana jumping all the times. Could give him some. Oh, here comes a Gnar ultimate, but does not happen. Just sits there.
Yeah, too close to the tower there. The reason why Rocket Jump hasn't been working is it's been right as the ability's basically been declared to the bot side. If they did it right as it was hitting, you'd be able to buffer out of it. Otherwise, yeah, you're just going to be caught out, and it's a long cooldown. Doesn't cost any mana, but if you don't get that reset, it's just like a 20, 21 second cooldown.
Yeah, definitely, and also like it's definitely hard for Tristana to react to it, because you had to react to it almost instantly, right? And sometimes as a Tristana player, here comes a knockup, getting almost roots, but it's a flashes out of the feathers. Zaya looking for some more, does have lethal threat of proc, but does not get much. The stun coming out from Syndra, but nothing is going to go happen with that. J4 and Wukong on the top side, Wukong rotating on the bot.
Yeah, you got to get that rocket jump instantly, or you have to do it as it's hitting one of those poles. Like, you can technically stop a Blitzcrank pole, but the timing is a little tight.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like an Urgot ultimate, Urgot E, where it just it's like this weird animation where it just happens.
Yeah.
A lot of damage coming onto the Syndra right now.
It's also really interesting when you get the isolation cue from the Ithacan Rain from Kaisa, as well as the bullets just kind of do weird stuff.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on either. Maybe a stun comes off from Syndra.
Oh.
Gnar does get the ultimate on the Scion, looking to trade some more, knocking up the Tristana, but nothing seems to be happening. But the root does rip both of them. Tristana being 6 and Zion not being 6, jumping on to Rakan. They're fighting in the wave. Exhaust comes out, Flash comes out. They are he does get stunned, but Flash comes on. Flash ultimate from Tristana. Tristana gets a triumph and able to heal and gets a heal off from Nami and takes down both the bot lane. The Chaos Storm does come out and kills Syndra, playing 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
Just balling in the mid lane here, trading 1-for-1. We didn't really need Ninja to come, but it ended up working out. The extra assist, always nice. It does show where you're at. But there's no way this drag is going to be happening with the bot lane play and this mid lane play. It's exactly what you want to be seeing. There's a chance to just kind of clone in and smite snipe it, but it is a bit risky, as if you get caught out here, that's more gold you're giving to the enemy team, who's already over 1,000 gold ahead.
Oh, he steals it from the Hextech. Rakan is there. Both teams are super low. Knocks up Tristana, but he does get the jump out. Cataclysm comes down and is able to maybe root the Drag 4. The Cyclone going on, gets stunned, and Tristana is living at 1 HP. Gets knocked up, shut down, goes on to Wukong, the Monkey King.
Apes together strong, able to cyclone things out, having to flag and drag out Assassin Bug and that Cataclysm here. Not good news for you, but Darude does have the Storm Razor that we've been talking about and alluding in from these earlier games that haven't been picked out because of how these teams have been playing. The extra movement speed is just going to make sure they stick onto people even more. It gives them movement speed buff now rather than that slow like it used to, for anyone who's not familiar with the current changes.
Magnar's be coming out here, looking to maybe get another trade on the Scion, as he's been trying his darndest to trade on him, but it is not happening. The Scion does not take damage right now. It is looking to this. He's just farming it up in the top side.
Yeah, and these short trades really end up for permanent stats with the Grasp stacks as well. I have no way of tracking how many he exactly has, but Fleet Footwork helps with some of these short trades, but it's not permanent stats, just some temporary movement with a little bit of healing.
Yeah, it is kind of where you can't actually see how many exactly grasp procs he does have. But yeah, no, it is definitely getting, honestly makes Sion a little bit stronger. It doesn't really bother him if he's getting attacked. I mean, if he's living, he's living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And speaking of living here, it's a lot harder for this bot lane tower, who's down at 3 plates here. No repairs was used at all.
Yeah, Krishana has a demolished into our kit almost.
Yeah, and some people even have demolished. They just go for it in their kit. I don't think that's quite the case. The bomb, though, just shreds through things, especially with the build that they have. Futures Market's also been utilized here by Iron Sniper, trying to get to this power spike as well, trying to match stuff up. They are down kills and farm, though, which is going to make things a little bit more difficult. Pencil ultimate to the top side.
Yeah, and also I definitely feel like, though, is that, Tristana shoving in these waves, like, Wukong needs to stop it. Like, Tristana is going to be permanently shoving. And and Wukong's not punishing it, you know what I mean? So it's definitely hard to farm, especially when you're always shoved in.
And you're just kind of the weaker laner here as well. It's also hard for him to do it just because of the vision that Rainbow's being able to execute here. It looks like the better internet connection has been all 9 Lives needs.
Yeah, that's what they did this entire time, was just a better internet connection.
That being said, this has been pretty similar to Game 1 and Game 2. Pretty slow laning phase, coming to an end in 2 minutes. I don't think a tower is going to be coming down anyway, so probably the 2-minute mark here. Darude, though, is going to be able to do a lot of damage with these towers. Maybe be able to get another plate.
And watch look at that. I'm playing League on my second monitor here, and I just got Mastery 6 on Yuumi.
Yeah, just chilling here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a
turn on The Office.
Yeah.
Watch Dwight Schrute do something absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Watch Jim do some pranks.
Yep. Jim gonna put his stapler in Jello real quick again.
Yep.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. A million people suffer from it every year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That being said, though, still 900 gold difference here, despite there only being 1 kill. So 300 gold is going to make up for that. If we look at some of the farm differentials here into the mid and bot side, that really explains some of the gold difference here.
And also, like, the fact that Tristana does have the Storm Razor, we also got to think about the fact that Xayah did buy boots first. Tristana just jump, but Xayah just flashes away. Just says, I ain't having any of that right now. She is done giving this Tristana any kills. Sun does come out. Cyclone is going to be popped out. Syndra ultimate does come. He's trying to kill. Just barely gets out, and Chaos Storm does not finish the job. She tried to unleash her power, barely didn't get the kill, but Cyclone takes it up.
Yeah, I thought that was going to take it there as well. It was a good thing Flash was up from Fire Ninjas, able to secure the kill here. It looks like the return pressure is going to be happening as well. Shelly crashed, getting some extra plates before turret plates fall off at the 14-minute mark. 3-3, 200 gold lead going back over to CSP here. So Contingent starting to get some of this extra gold lead that they want. We know they can utilize a gold advantage, and we know 9 Lives can also utilize a gold advantage here. And with this dragon coming up, spawned right now, a fight, a brewing, top priority, CSP.
Ultimate coming down, going on to the Xayah. Xayah does have her ultimate, and she will be able to she will just survive. She doesn't even have to pop another sword.
Ghost will do that. It does mean it's going to be a little bit more difficult to reposition. Flash and Ghost is down here. There are big choke points, though, around this dragon, should they want to try and go for it. We saw the Wukong cheese happen before for Dragon 1.
Oh, but Wukong cheese does not happen against Bubble, and it gets taken down.
That's the risk. Live by the biscuit, die by the biscuit there.
And it is an infernal soul to scorch the rift.
No one's close to Dragon here. Oh no, Iron Sniper. Oh no.
Comes down, looking to knock it off. There comes, and it's stunned, but the Chaos Storm just takes the cake and is able to kill everyone. Double kill on the victor.
Seasonal Iron Sniper, what you doing? You just saw them at Dragon. You know they're there. You can't push up like that. You're gonna get caught. The ultimate just can't go over terrain. You're just kind of SOL.
Yeah, I don't know. They decided,
Oh my gosh.
they decided to take a risk, but they not get rewarded for it.
Yeah, always punished. New to you is able to get a lot of value into this top side here. Just trying to get some extra damage in this tower. Not going to get first tower this game. Ended up being the bot side. And mid towers, both are really low.
Yeah, but Tristana's push tower is definitely really strong. So she can definitely try and, take the mid tower. They're looking towards the top side. There comes the Nami to be able to knock up the Gnar, but just barely does it. The flash coming out, saving himself, being able to not get tidal waved.
Yeah, riding that like a surfer. Gnarly dude getting out.
Exactly.
His hop was down. His hop was down. So yeah, I had the flash there. Some big ultimates down as well. The disengage from Rainbow is pretty important, or the setup that it enables. That being said, if this back happens, there's a potential for more of this tower to come down. Trinity looks like the item that's going to be coming out in New to You. So split push potential here is going to be nice.
Yeah, Gnar is actually really strong at it too. He's able to shove a lot of things. CP coming in from the top side. Maybe they're looking on him. Gnar being, not a little arrogant, but just being that's a hop and a skip out of there. No unstoppable onslaught.
Yep, and his ultimate is basically the cooldown of his rage meter, so it being down isn't the biggest deal as well. He can get a double hop over any terrain as well that he can go over, so not the outermost wall. You can't leave Summoner's Rift as hard as you may try. Got a nice split into the bot side here as well.
And Syndra could honestly go more and take more of the tower that everyone's being taught, but she's just trying to get golden back.
And it's not like we have the caster's privilege of just being able to see everyone. We've been seeing everyone stick around here on wards. We don't know where Jarvan is exactly, but he's on the top side.
Yeah, he is looking for something.
Looking for something. It looks like the mid tower is going to be where the pressure is going to be sitting here as well.
Well, so proc for the recall does get the silent, but it looks like nothing's going to be happening.
Yeah, just trying to clear this wave, protect the mid lane tower. We've been talking about how important it is. It looks like Castor has been staying here, doing some damage here to the bot tower. Frosty Pencil is returning, trying to stop this pressure, save this tower as well. Keep the objective gold out of CSP's hands here to stay with this 2.4k gold lead.
Yeah, and it's very, very good gold lead on to 9 lives. Just the fact that there is a lot of scaling on them. Both teams have scaling, but if you're both scaling, who's gonna win? The one with most gold, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whoever can hit those power spikes sooner is important. And their mid lane is a pretty big win condition. Has 3 kills, 161 farm in 18 minutes. That's like 8 farm a minute. Pretty good. Versus the other mid lane who's down, or is up a little bit of farm, I should say, but down 2 kills. And the bot lane, of course, Darude being up 2 kills here as well, and 30 CS. That's a kill's worth of farm in itself. And you can tell with the longsword versus the BF sword. Dragon coming up 30 seconds. This goal difference is going to really show in this upcoming team fight.
It looks like a Pyromantis to be the first bot from Nami, not being a mythic anymore, and kind of interesting to see. Zion looking to get on Syndra, but she can just pull him back, and nothing will be done about that. Knock up Rakan barely getting out of there. Almost got stunned from the cage.
Yeah, the gravitational pull there. Almost got it, but he's able to get out next to his waifu here. Getting so much poke there is going to make things a little bit harder for Seasonal. Oh, they might get pinched. Oh, no.
Oh my God. Frosty Pencil with the flank follow-up from the Victor Chaos Storm. It is looking like a down. 9 Lives really stepping up their game in these last couple games.
Yeah, they're really stepping things up, able to pinch people out, call out CSG in their gameplay. I really like this. I really do. And they got technically infinite scalability with Frosty Pencil here as well. Able to get a lot of HP.
As Frosty Pencil will be an unstoppable tank. It'll be very hard for them to actually kill him. Considering that the fact is you don't have really max health damage. I mean, you have Gnar, but usually you don't get your Gnar focusing the tank. You want him he's seeing people on the back line, right? Especially you want them, CCing the Victor and Tristana. So I feel like Sion's gonna be very, 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 very hard to, stop being in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, your first target's never the tank, realistically, unless it's the only target.
Oh, we're gonna TP from Sion. Everyone pinging, trying to collapse on him, but it doesn't matter. Sion is there. Sion ults. I mean, Nami does it to the tidal wave, but no one gets hit from it. No one is surfing today.
Yeah, no one's surfing here. A lot of these ultimates down. Tidal wave down. The angry boy Gnar is going to be calming down here as well. So his ultimate is effectively on cooldown, even though it displays that it's okay. Baron's up. They certainly can. It's a little risky, but 2,000 gold is enough with the Infinity Edge unlocked.
It looks like they're just baiting it almost. You know what I mean? They're just saying, hey, if you don't stop us, we will do it. Comes a clone onto Sion looking to kill him, but it doesn't do a single thing. The shield is just too strong.
Yeah, Heartsteel just doing even more.
You're just giving him more health the more you try attacking him.
Yeah. And he's just going to do more damage once he gets the Sunfire Aegis as well. Already has the Baumies. Iron Sniper getting sniped by the laser here coming out of Pancakes.
Honestly, though, the Gnar is going to be doing well in the push. So I feel like, though, even though they want to 5v5 with 9 lives wants to 5v5, they're doing a very good job on CSP just to split push, to chill out. We're just going to split push. We're not going to fight because they will destroy us.
Yeah. They're not going to be winning these team fights despite their composition kind of saying they want that. But they do have a backup plan, which is always nice to have in your draft phase. They're more than likely going to be able to get this bot tower here with the Trinity. Ultimate from Frosty Pencil is online, but New to You should just be able to get out kind of scot-free here, especially with Demolish. Or they don't feel the same. He does not
get the tower. It was very close, but the tower is not dead. Sion looking to see exact his revenge, does get a little bit of damage, but nothing happened.
Yeah, New to Use ADHD coming from his W is not going to be enough to quite come out of all of this. Just trying to clear this wave, but the wave push coming out of Frosty, quite important.
Yeah, honestly, Narco went Bork at this game. The fact that Sion's so strong.
Yeah, he could have. He certainly could have gone Bork this game.
Looking to trade on him. The Gnar ultimate comes down, but looking to just do more damage. The Frosty Pencil is so tanky. It's very hard for him to do damage. The shield comes out. Knockup almost hits Frosty. Frosty is looking to win that trade. New to You being 0 mana.
Well, New to You doesn't have any mana. He only has the Rage bar. So.
Oh, okay. That's my bad. I just saw an empty bar go down.
I've done that before too. For a second, I was in the draft phase. I was like, Viego has mana, right? I'm like, oh wait, no, Viego doesn't.
Oh, look at the knockup onto the Syndra ultimate comes there and is nothing. The tidal wave does hit two people. Two people went surfing, but does not seem to save. The flash knockup trying to get on Tristana. Tristana is able to jump away. They're looking on the Nabi now. They're wondering if they can go fishing. They are not in Louisiana though, because Nami is not there to get fished.
Yep, but Baron is on the table here in the river, going for the big kahuna. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to do it, or if the return is going to be happening here. A lot of big ultimates are available, though Pancakes is quite low in mana.
Yeah, Pancakes having more mana actually could have maybe stopped something. But the Unstoppable Chaos does come undone. The Nami trying to heal up people. He's on Desire. Gnar is there trying to do what he can. The Sion is there though. He has killed the Rakan. Sion is taking everything. There's no mana for Victor though. They do take the Baron.
Yeah, they take the Baron here. They kind of want to fight to catch people out, but you also have Baron here. You don't want to risk it. You really need these objectives, and you need to reset. Dragons coming up here with the forced recall, that they might be able to get that third dragon 9 lives. It's a pretty decent trade here. They have to teleport as well to get these numbers as well. No hex gates to get here super fast. Yeah, this is starting to look like 9 lives dragon here, getting the dragon slayers. Yeah, it's theirs.
They're definitely it's pretty easy that they're just like 9 lives just taking these objectives, and 9 lives, I mean, they got the Baron, but it looks like though 9 lives is still up in gold, and it still has, you know, a little more prio than usual.
It's only 800 gold, so it's not that much. It's going to change a little bit with all these towers going down, the mid lane towers. They're even in gold right now. It's only 300. That's 1 kill, despite it being 4 to 8. Farm, very important. EXP, very important. Level 15 Gnar into the top lane, new to you, versus Frosty Pencil's 13 is a game changer. Fire Ninja, 13 to 12 versus Assassin Bug, important. Caster, 16. The third ultimate's unlocked versus the 15 on Pancakes. Flip side, Darude, 13 to 12. Also quite important here as well. Not only that, but the being able to go Infinity Edge over Gale Force is important.
And they do have the Gale Force. The Gale Force did get buffed though. Does have crazy scaling now on a crit.
Yeah.
I believe it's it's a lot. Gnar looking to get is getting pancakes here, but just able to just jump across his minions, get out scot-free.
Yeah, it does 465 damage for targets below half health, I believe, right now with the items that Iron Sniper currently has when I quick hovered over it. Though she's not going to be the source of damage anytime soon, as she's 0-3 right now. And as an AD carry main, you understand item 3 pretty important. The Root looks like they're going for Phantom Dancer as their third item.
Yeah, I mean, or what? What?
Hearthstone Axe goes into Phantom Dancer right now. I had it. I played it this game. It threw me so off.
What? That's so random now. Oh, that looks like the tidal wave been coming out. The Cyclone does the trying to get what she can. Triss seems to walk a little bit too far back, gets charmed, knocked up, and gets Jarvan. The CSP is looking to take away the life of 9 lives again. They are coming back into this game and is looking very, very hard for 9 lives. The TP comes from Sion. Sion does not have ultimate and will not be able to catch up, and it looks like CSP is getting out of there with what they got.
Yeah, Seasonal just barely got out there, being able to dash back to his partner here. But very well played, able to get some of this needed gold share. Gold, even in the gold sphere between everyone, which is very, very important. We'll have to see if Caster's going to be able to get this death cap soon. They have both of the Rod of Ages, but they only have 500 gold on them right now. They did get a lot of towers here. That bot tower finally fell, 2 in the mid. I believe top finally fell, and they got a lot of pressure there. So they're up an extra tower. They are down 2 dragons here, and 9 lives only needs 1 dragon to get soul.
9 lives is up on the objectives, but it seems like SCSP is like up on the towers, and so it definitely is kind of interesting to see this game kind of unfold as CSP was so high. Now. It's gonna be tied now. Zion just pushing for free.
Oh, he hasn't taken it yet. It's not over till the fat Zion sings.
True. You got a point there.
Although that might not make too big of a difference with this wave coming up. Dragon, minute and 20 seconds here. Baron buff should be down on everyone as well. Minute and 30 seconds before that comes up. Key timers that they have a tight overlap as well. If an ace or anything else like that happens, big deal.
And also, I have to feel like the fact is that you look at some of these like at this game state, right? And we thought that 9 lives was like taking like the game over this, but the fact is that there's all these like plays that could happen in this game that got 9 lives back down to even gold, even CSP holding up a little like 200 gold more. And so Mega Gnar does get popped out, which is actually really big for them, because the fact is he doesn't have Mega Gnar now for the drag fight.
Yeah, he's got 30 seconds to pull it up, but no jungle camps nearby, which is important. And they're down gold again. They're down 900. they keep losing the advantage that they have.
At CSP, it is really looking for this fight. This fight does definitely decide how this game will go play out for the rest of the game. Knock up onto the Scion, looking to get Trellius. Just look into Trellius is popped already. There's a jump away. The TP is coming down, looking at 5v5. And they're looking to pick out someone. The charms come in. The knockups, 3-man knockup. Cyclone comes in. The tidal wave, though, knocks people up. The Cyclone looking for more. The Nami trying to rush away. Chaos Storm doing bunch of damage to Gnar. They're looking to do what they can. Desire knocks people up. It doesn't matter. Desire's able to kite with Gale Force. They are there to peel. Double kill on the Wukong. And it is a 4-0 onto 9 lives.
And then there's the TP into the top side. Coming from New to You, they're down their flash, but it's going to be so hard for Frosty Pencil to do it, being they don't have their teleport here. Getting this dragon, also very important. No soul happening. The extra AD is going to make some of these plays happen. Those backs happening. Getting that death cap, super important for Syndra, played by Caster here. And just being able to survive from Iron Sniper, just barely. Getting the Cyclone to stick onto Darude, also very crucial. And if you ever doubted me, we see the Phantom Dancer.
I forgot.
It's so random. I was like, wait, what?
Why is it hard for Conde? It was never. Yeah, but also like something you can see in these fights. Look at the level difference in this game right now.
Yeah.
It's having 15, Gnar being level 17. You know, you have J4 being 13. Wukong is level 15. Like the level difference is actually really big, and it's showing. Sion not having that ultimate.
Yeah, it changed that fight. It was so huge.
Oh my god!
Oh!
Whoa! Whoa! Wowza!
Not quite putting the death in death cap right there, but still, they have that 1,000 gold lead. Baron's online with people being so low, and Pancakes doesn't have teleport here, so the numbers advantage is online.
Yeah, Syndra is definitely strong right now. As we just saw, Nami almost died from a single ability. And that, God, that was her CC ability. That wasn't even her main damage.
I think it was 2, QE.
I mean, no, she knocked the ball into her, but I mean, oh, there goes the silent ultimate, knocking up 3. Tidal wave does come down. Good follow up. This charm does come with Chaos Storm, but Gnar is there to peel back her team. The damage is there. Coster does get him. The knock up from J4 does save it. The Zonias comes down, trying to CC her more. They're trying to go on the Syndra. It is barely not enough, but they do kill her, and 9 Lives takes it back with that fight.
9 Lives accidentally played, getting the pinch into there. New to You wasn't able to get enough CC. They weren't able to quick stick onto Darude. They did get them for that 700 gold, but they ended up trying Fire Ninja at the same time in order to get that as well. Iron Sniper just wasn't able to quite position things out. It was a little bit awkward sauce for them. Being Frosty Pencil was able to cut them in twain.
Looking to pull a Danny and seeing what she can do. They are taking this extremely slow. Farsight does pop out where they are. They are extremely low. They're looking to maybe get a Feather Storm. She does not have Feather Storm, but she doesn't have Gale Force either. The TP comes out. They're looking to see what they can do. They are slain. It is slain, and the Victor does TP to make sure the Zaya does not pull a Danny.
Do all 5 get Baron buff? All 5 get Baron buff despite several people dying. It took them that long in order to get it.
Honestly, if they placed a ward down, Centric maybe could have TP'd and we could have done another fight.
They could have, or tried to stop the backs, or they could try and go for some more of the split push gameplay as well. That being said, kind of want these TPs up to respond to any sort of the plays that might be happening here. They really need these mid and bot waves to be pushed out or at least stabilized, being dragons coming up in 1 minute and 30 seconds as well.
Yeah, so okay, so something you also got to point out here, right, is so because Zaya went to the Gale Force build, right? I mean, also it could be for the fact that she's lower on items. Zaya right now only has 250 AD. Tristana, 430.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a big damage gap in them. I mean, Zaya's main damage is of other pools, but the fact is that Tristana does have a lot more damage than Zaya does right now.
Well,
And
4 items versus 2 is pretty good.
2.5. 2.5.
Sure, 2.5. We'll be generous.
The 900 damage crit on that minion. You see that?
Yeah.
A lot of damage that Tristana has.
Someone call Alan Swift. That's a lot of damage. Get some Flexi on that. Dragging up 30 seconds here. This recall is kind of an awkward timer. Trying to get the Lord Dominic's, I would assume, to try and deal some more damage to Frosty Pencil.
Yeah, definitely you want the more damage on Frosty Pencil. So much already. As soon as it's Titanic, he's going to have so much damage, too. Nar is on the top side. He does have TP, but so does Scion. We'll see how this goes.
I'm going for the recall, not trying to push things out. Trying to play around a TP ward at all.
Yeah, we do have Scion tanking some things from Lucan, but it's just getting a shield. So I actually do a lot of damage. The knockup comes down. They are trying to see what they can do to poke him out as much as they can. Farside does point out 2 people and see where they are at.
And the important thing is, standing and doing Dragon is not using your Baron buff. That's the important thing.
It's true. They do have Baron buff that is not being used right now. So I'm looking to actually push the top side, and he's gonna TP. Oh, he's gonna TP now. He said, never mind. I've changed my mind, and he's going to push it. And next thing you know, there is never mind. I thought it was
steal.
Then the Charm, the Feather Storm, the knockup. There goes the Syndra ultimate. There's a Chaos Storm going brewing on the Catalysm. The Gnar knocks back 3 of them. There's Naya is still alive, doing so much damage. The Wukong is there. The Zoe is the stopwatch. But it doesn't matter. The gravitation pull is stunning everyone. The Syndra just one-tap the Victor. The Scion trying to get out what he can, but it doesn't matter. The Wukong is there to stop him from backing. We shall see the shutdown go to the Monkey King.
Counts as a minion, 25 gold. Get the darks. You get the proc from the Heartsteel. Oh, because if it didn't proc, you know which one's a clone. So, 3 stacks. Well, they didn't get the soul this game, but they're able to get that tower. Everything is just in these turrets in base. Potentially this Indian as well.
That servers are so long right now. They're able to do this kind of stuff as Nami and Tristana and J4 are the only ones alive. As, you know, Victor and Scion aren't there, which is right now is like their big damage, as we've been seeing in these fights.
Permanent bot priority, I think, is a good thing to have. Rude's trying to stay alive here more. If you look at their items right now, I never would have expected this. Spectral's Cowl trying to get more benefit out of the Bloodthirsters here above 50% HP, so you get that extra 30 AD.
I'm wondering why Spear Precision instead of the Maw.
Yeah. Maws can be nice because we know someone does a lot of AP damage.
Yeah, I've been seeing these fights. Syndra is one-shotting people.
And if you're in exhaust range, sorry, it's a little too late, bud.
Yeah, if you're in exhaust range, I think even through exhaust, Syndra will still kill them.
Yeah, especially if they got that last item in.
Yeah, we do see the Gnar, trying to see what he can do. He does the ultimate to the wall, doing pickle amounts of damage. He's attacking pretty fast, but it doesn't matter. The Scion just eats it all up.
Level 18 hit by 3 people from CSP here. Only 1 person has yet to reach that level in 9 lives, or has reached that level, I should say. The thing about XP is dead advantage caps out once you hit 18. But there's no bounty to get extra XP as well, so it can be difficult in that respect to get it. But it's a 40-minute game, so there's chance for anyone to end it. And with the timers being this long, specifically the death timers and all these teleports, 1 ace is all it takes for anyone to win this game, despite the gold differences between both people. Favoring CSP, though, with the 2K gold lead.
Yeah, CSB was caught up really hard in this game. It is, we're fighting back, and they showed us to be fighting back, even with them having Infernal Soul. They still won that drag fight, and they're still, up in the game.
Yeah, they've been getting a lot of value through mid lane and their jungler as well. Wukong, been quite the player this game. Just being able to stick onto all these targets here, but they really want all of this vision here, or potentially getting a pick, just trying to get anyone low or dead for a potential Baron here. Pancake in the bot side has teleport, could change the game state at any moment. Additionally, 2 TPs from CSP should they need to abandon Baron's gameplay and go for a split somewhere else or cut off waves.
And it looks like the Cyclones will be knocking up the Tristana and getting all the good knockups. The knockup again. The tidal wave coming down. The Syndra will be able to kill the Nami. Wukong on the Tristana. The Featherstorm pulls out. There's nothing that 9 Lives can do at this point. Resurrection comes down, but the Chaos Storm is there to try to save the play. The Chaos Storm does get a lot of damage. Great enough to Rakan and get the GA away from Wukong, but it doesn't matter. 3-4, nothing again. It seems that CSP is so far ahead in this game.
Yeah, just having the numbers advantage is all they needed here. Recognizing that Pancake was in the bot side means that they can try and get this Baron here. Looks like they're not going to be able to steal it here, but I like Frosty Pencil's return, recognizing can't get Baron, but we can push out waves, make things a little bit more difficult, and try and keep us into this game. Maybe if I get to 1 billion health, I'll be able to win this out and just one-shot everything with my Titanic Hydra. 253 shockwave right now.
That is a crazy amount of shockwave.
Yeah, 7k HP.
Elder in 57 seconds.
Elder, I think it's the second strongest buff in the game right now, next to Hex Soul. It's been kind of crazy, and not enough damage has been coming out of 9 Lives despite them having Infernal Soul.
It's kind of interesting to see that the Infernal Soul isn't doing as much. But also, I feel like the fact is that they're CC for so long, as we're seeing the Cyclone was able to knock up so many people and was able to just, have them CC'd where they couldn't even do the damage. Oh my god.
Genja's been able to get to the back line and just hit at least 3 people with his Cyclone, and that's been the game changer that they need. You don't take damage from a dead target. Oh my goodness!
God! J4 gets picked out just like that, and the number of advantage on CSP, like every fight has been so far.
Caster's Curse. I said you don't take damage from a dead target, and then someone immediately gets blown up. Holy cow.
I'm looking to see what he can do. This does rely on Sion and Victor right now. And Tristana needs to hope that she can pick someone else too. Oh my god, Caster barely gets out. But the Validation Pull does stun 3 targets, doing so much damage. But the Gnar ultimate does stun 2 people. It looks like Victor is going for the double, gets the triple. Victor going off and getting everyone. But the Wukong is there to stop the Tristana. Victor going for more, almost getting the Quadra. So that goes to Tristana. Isaiah is the only one left alive. And just like that, 9 Lives is back in the game.
Yeah, back in it as well. And there's a chance they could get this Elder as well. It's alive. They have 4 people. They have their damage dealers alive here. Junglers up. They have their tank as well. It's so difficult for Iron Sniper to take it here as well. And the TP plays, new to you, and Castor are also down, which makes team fighting so difficult and easier for 9 Lives in order to defend this. It's bringing them back into the game, back to nearly even gold with, they're down 800 gold right now?
It's
a team fight away. It's a team fight away. Long games. Sitting here 4 minutes and 30 seconds. My hat's off to anyone who's been staying here for the entirety of this best of 3.
Yeah, for
Baron
real.
buff's gone. Baron buff is gone.
Yeah, but Bork is bought on the Tristana, which is pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, Bloodthirster is gone now. That's interesting here. Spirit Visage is there as well. Another interesting pickup. We just need more items, I think, onto Iron Sniper as well. Full on Darude, or we need to be seeing mid lane getting some more picks here with Caster.
Wow. onto the Zion. Is Victor showing? I think in fact Victor doesn't do damage. If Victor does damage,
it's like he doesn't do damage and then he does a billion damage.
Yeah,
you got to keep in mind with any of these ticks, the Death Cap, the Loons, and the Elder Dragon just means that the threshold is just that much lower. It's like everyone has Collector right now.
Oh yeah, and Victor is really strong right now, and so it's definitely. We gotta hope that Victor does not get picked out. Becomes a bomb, almost killing 2 people. The other tick is it's not looking for it, but Recon stops him. They are going for more. The Scion is looking to get his little Heartsteel procs off the clone, but doesn't get it. They're looking to end the game right here and there. The bomb does hit Zion again. They're looking for just a little bit extra, but they don't think they're not looking to end though.
Maybe they don't have their front line. Makes things a little bit more awkward. And the healing that you can get back if you're able to get back to your fountain as well could be all that they need. Is Cyclone up? It looks like it is. They group up. They could potentially get something here.
The Chaos Storm goes on. Kristona's looking to end the game. He said, screw fighting. I'm just going to end it. And it goes to 9 lives.
9 lives. Able to secure this. Getting the reverse 2-0. Despite them being so far behind into the first game. Being able to pick things back up. Get the soul coming out on top here. Well played by 9 lives. They're first into the Demacia playoffs. Holy cow. What an exciting set that we've had in these games.
Yeah, it was definitely a very, very toss-up on who was going to win. As we can see this damage graphs now, Victor was 70k damage, and the next person on his team being Sire with only 30k. Victor definitely was a prominent person on 9 Live's team.
Yeah, I certainly agree as well. You can argue Pancakes has the MVP. They did a lot into game 1 and into game 2. They were able to utilize their counter pickup, so them being able to play around that as well. I think gets them MVP for the set.
Yeah, I would agree.
As for Ace, I think Fire Ninjas did really well with the Wukong pickup. Both games, they did very, very well. They were able to stick on the targets, get the damage that they needed as well. And it just wasn't enough in the end. One of their carries was a little bit too far behind. And there's only so much you can do about that. Sure, they probably should have ganked bot a couple more times, especially once they got to level 6, the permanent push that Darude had. But they're still able to get a lot of action everywhere else onto the map, and they were able to get some kills onto their mid lane, which panned out pretty well. Just didn't end up getting them the game.
Yeah, I could have said it better myself.
Do you have any closing remarks here, or just want to wrap it up here?
I think I'm just going to wrap it up here.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for sticking into Style Esports here. We'll see you next round. It looks like the next game might be coming up June 19th. No, I'm a little bit too far.
June 12th.
June 12th will be the next round 8 here for the Demacia bracket. If you want to stay on top, make sure to follow or subscribe Style Esports. Otherwise, take care and have a nice night.